Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 1 of our story. If you like this what if story and want to see part 2, let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check the description for more great content and my playlist. This story was posted by RedBlader127 on Wattpad. Now let's start. Izuku's POV. Why did it have to come to this? I didn't do anything wrong and yet my closest friends didn't even believe me. Ochako didn't even hesitate to break up with me. And here though love extends beyond boundaries, they won't judge you for you are and will stand by you. But Ochako, I never loved you. Who would love a criminal like you? I should have never been your friend. Even worse, I was your girlfriend. Those words broke my heart. I should have never saved her from that zero-pointer. Ida, my best friend, didn't even believe in me and also acted like he didn't even know me. Ida, I'm sorry but I do not befriend or know any criminals. I should have been considerate with those I interact. Criminals and traitors like you should rot in prison. I saved him from staying. Does he even feel thankful that he's still standing and alive? I should have never saved him or even gave him the title of class representative. All of the class even beat me up before I was arrested. Except a few Katsuki, UF extras. Izuku would never or will ever be a traitor. I've known him since as a kid. He has a heart of a hero better than you all. 𝐀𝐮𝐿 Midoriya is my friend. If it wasn't for him I would have continued on the wrong path. He always had our backs when we need him. If it wasn't for him helping my father understand his mistakes we wouldn't be back together as a family again. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 Midoriya is one of the manliest bros out there. He would never turn his back on people close to him. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 Midoriya has protected this class than any of you can do. Most of us wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for him. Shoji, in saving others Midoriya doesn't make a choice between two people. He would find a way to save both of them. Ojiro, Midoriya always keep his promises. He would never leave a friend hanging and find a way to make those promises come true. And he would never be a traitor in a million years. Momo, Midoriya is one of the most hard-working students in our class or maybe even in UA. It would be out of character for Midoriya to betray his own friends. He taught me to save others before anything else. Mineta, Midoriya is one of the greatest friends I could ever had. Without him, I would have never been able to stand here in front of you right now. He's my inspiration to become a great hero. Shinso, Midoriya stood by me when I needed it the most. He was one of the people that didn't mistreat people like me. He was my inspiration to improve and become better. Kaken, Shoto, Kirishima, 𝐀𝐭𝐴𝐵, Shoji, Momo, Shinso and Mineta all had my back. They knew at heart that I wouldn't do such a thing. Aizawa, I knew the day I met Midoriya he had one of the greatest potentials I've ever seen in this class or this school. Him and Bakugo have the greatest impact in this class and have become great inspirations to them all. Even though he disobeys the rules, he does it to save those even if it meant hurting himself. Midoriya would never betray the school or his friends even if it's the last thing he'll do. Even Mr. Aizawa knew I would never do that. Endeavor, couldn't you wait to find some proof before sending him to prison? Nizu. This kid is special. The moment I met him, he helped me realize my mistakes and helped become a better hero. And he's also the son of one of my old friends, so it means it's my duty as his uncle to defend him. I never knew that Endeavor aka Enji Todoroki knew my dad and that I'm actually his uncle. He only gave me a letter that he found inside some of the stuff my dad left to him. I still haven't read what it was yet. But even with all of them defending me all might, I should have never chosen someone like you to become my successor. You should have stayed quirkless, you traitor. Nizu, the evidence is clear. Izuku Midoriya is under arrest for working with the League of Villains and stealing UA's files. He is sentenced to life in prison without any parole. I was devastated. All might, I considered him my father figure and he didn't even believed in me. The sad thing is that nearly all of Class 1B or any student believed in me. Heck, they even joined in to beat me up. The big three even tried to reason with Nizu but he was too deaf to even hear them, and now here I am sitting in a prison transport van getting taken to Tartarus prison. Since All Might couldn't take away my quirk, they just placed anti-quirk cuffs on me. My bag and hero stuff are on the other side. They said they'll sell them and make good use of them. I was wearing a prison uniform they made me wear right in front of the entire UA and took my picture. They threw all sorts of items at me and calling me traitor and many more names while I was being skirted to the van. But the one thing I still don't get is Eri. Pop, are you okay? Why would Eri still want to be with me? Heck, even join me in prison. Izuku, why yeah, I'm fine Eri. But why did you want to come with me to prison? It was a ridiculous question. Eri was literally sitting next to me eating a candy apple on the way to prison, which by definition of prison is one of the worst places to be on earth. And since I was sentenced to life in prison without parole, it is literally equal to a death sentence. Eri hates those meanies because they beat up Papa. And I want to stay with Papa no matter where he is. I still can't believe she was allowed to join me, like how? Izuku, but Eri prison is a place where bad people stay and it's not easy to live in it. Eri, well then I'll be bad so I can stay with Papa. And I'm fine as long as I have you Papa. And why are you crying Papa? I touched my cheek and see tears streaming down them. Izuku, fuck tears. Rubs them away. It's nothing Snowball. Even if some of the others didn't believe me, Eri chose to stay by my side. I adopted her after I saved her from overhaul, and I took care of her and kept her safe. And even in or no matter where I go, I'll protect her. Izuku pats Eri's head. Thanks Snowball. I love you. Eri smiles. I love you too Papa. I almost had a heart attack seeing her sweet smile. Eri then finishes up her candy apple and lies beside me and falls asleep hugging my side. All I know is that I won't be alone wherever I go. I felt my eyes slowly getting heavy as I start to slowly fall asleep. Meanwhile, in another location, no one's POV, at an alleyway, we see black-haired, fairly tall, pale young man of a slim, somewhat lanky build, described to be in his early 20s with turquoise eyes. He looks to be a bit beaten and is running towards UA High as fast as he could. I have to warn the old man as fast as I could before it's too late. Back to Izuku's POV, I open my eyes and appear at a place and see the previous users of One for All are. Yoichi, sorry you had to go through this 9th. I wish there was a way we could have helped you. Izuku, it's okay, there was nothing we could do. Daigoro, I still can't believe 8th didn't believe in him. He chose him and yet he wasn't there to support him in any way. Nana, I'm so disappointed in him. I really thought he would be one of the people to stand up for you and yet he called you a traitor just because of a video. Second user, that's how society works now. They believe everything they see or hear. It only starts from a rumor, then grows until it reaches the authorities. And the unfortunate thing is that 9th knows and is training to master the other quirks of One for All. And now he can't do anything because of the situation he's in right now. Third user, this might have been a plan by Shigaraki to stall time. Hikage, so the question now is, what will be his next move? Daigoro, but shouldn't we be worried for 9th over here? He's been silent and the look on his eyes seems like it's lost all its life in it. Nana, it should be expected Daigoro. He's been betrayed by those closest to him for something he didn't do. His girlfriend, some of his best friends, nearly everyone in UA, but also his mentor didn't believe in him. Then Yoichi comes closer to me and places a hand on my shoulder, making me look at him. Yoichi, I wish we could have done more 9th. We're sorry for what happened. Izuku, it's my fault for believing that I finally found where I truly belong. But looks like I really belong to where the society's rejects go to prison. Nana, look on the bright side, maybe sooner or later they'll regret what they did and give you a chance. Izuku, they should have said that before sending me to life in prison. Felt tears streaming down his cheeks. They sent me to prison, removing my rights to defend myself. I'll never forgive them even if they were the last humans on Earth. All of a sudden I felt my eyes change and open them up and see them have shocked faces. Daigoro, such bloodlust. I heard a mysterious voice in my head, pain of betrayal, achieved. I then shake it off as my eyes turned back to normal and looked down. Izuku, sorry, I don't know what came over me. I was expecting them to be disappointed in me, but instead I felt a hand on my shoulder and see Daigoro. Daigoro, don't sweat it kid. If I was in your situation, that's how I'll also feel. Yoichi, he's right 9th, you don't need to worry about them. All of us and young Eri will be with you wherever you go. I then felt Nana hold my cheek and made me look at her. Nana, you don't have to worry about anything. Toshi may have abandoned you, but none of us will. I was still asleep talking to the users in the van waiting for it to arrive in prison. Until crash. I suddenly woke up and saw the van crashed on a falling tree, stopping it in its tracks. Izuku, what the dash, help. I look outside and saw the guards getting attacked by a giant 𝐻𝐿𝐵 while me and Eri were still inside the van. She was hugging my shoulder while she was shaking in fear. Eri, Papa, I'm scared. Izuku, it's okay Snowball, I won't let that thing hurt you. I then noticed the keys to my cuffs were hanging by the back of their seats. Izuku, Eri, can you get those keys right over there? So we can both get out of here safely. Eri sees to where I was pointing at and nods shakily as she sneakily goes to get the keys while the 𝐻𝐿𝐵 was distracted with the guards. She grabs it and heads back to me. Izuku, great work Snowball. Now use it to unlock my cuffs. She nods and uses the key and frees me from the cuffs as they fall to the ground. I hugged her and calmed her down that everything will be alright. Izuku, I'll protect you Snowball, I won't let anything happen to you, kisses her forehead. She nods with a smile as I got to my bag and find my hero suit nearly destroyed along with a few other stuff. I put my hero costume on and I also put on the mid-gauntlets that were in my bag that I had Melissa deliver a few days ago. Melissa, dear Midoriya, here are the gauntlets that you requested to me a while ago. I'm sorry I still couldn't make a full gauntlet, but these mid-gauntlets will work like a charm. They'll help you master your quirk more. I placed them both on my hand and wore my Air Force gloves along with it. I then took the scarf Gran Torino gave me as a souvenir after he trained me. Gran Torino, here you go Sonny, gives scarf, maybe something to remember me by when you become the future pro hero, Deku. Continue to become what you want to be kid, you'll do great things in the future. I then put the scarf on and closed my hood as I wore my bag on my back. I told Eri to stay here and wait for me as I went out to see the 𝐻𝐿𝐵 finish up the last guard. Izuku, one for all. Full cowling 45%. I charged up towards the 𝐻𝐿𝐵. Izuku, Detroit Smash. I landed the attack and sent the 𝐻𝐿𝐵 flying a few meters away. Second user, 9th, how about you test out my quirk again? I nod and then got to a stance and stomped one of my foot on the ground. Izuku, Destructive Death, Technique Development Compass Needle. A light blue snowflake-shaped compass underneath me appeared numbers from 1-2 and I could now sense the 𝐻𝐿𝐵 through its fighting spirit about to launch at me, so I backflipped to dodge. Izuku, Destructive Death, Air Type. I punched the empty air in front me, creating a powerful shockwave from the pressure of it towards the 𝐻𝐿𝐵. It hit the 𝐻𝐿𝐵, making it scream and stumble back a bit as I land back on the ground. Second user, Impressive 9th, looks like the training paid off. Izuku, yes, but there is more for me to improve. For now I'll just have to fight and protect with everything I've got. The 𝐻𝐿𝐵 charged at me as I rushed towards it, readying one for all to attack again. Izuku, one for all 50% plus Destructive Death, 8-layered Demon Core. Meanwhile at UA, a few minutes earlier before Izuku was attacked in 𝐿𝐵's POV, it was only nearly an hour since Midoriya has been sent to prison without parole. I'm with Shoto and the others who believe in him in the cafeteria. Nizu called a celebration because the traitor was finally caught. Me, Shoto, Shota and the others were far away, not joining in on the fun. I told Ray and the other kids me and Shoto were at you dealing with matters, so we might come late. Momo, isn't there anything we can do to help Midoriya? Endeavor, I'm afraid there is no other way, kid. Even if we did find a way, will Nizu even set him free? Or will he even forgive them? Bakugo, if it. I've known the nerd since we were kids. It'll take more than that stupid video to prove me otherwise. Shoto, old man, how is Midoriya, my cousin? Endeavor, size, I figured you'd ask me that. I knew his father back in the day, we were both students at UA. His name was Hisashi, my rival before in my days. Shoto, though your rival was always All Might. Endeavor, yes, but before All Might, Hisashi and I used to battle a lot. Before he disappeared, he told me to give a letter to Izuku at the right time. Shota, but why did it have to be right now when he was arrested? Endeavor, even I can't explain it. It's like I forgot about him until just now after a head starts to hurt. Arg. Shoto, you alright? I'm in my head. It's been aching all day. How could I have forgotten Hisashi? All I remember was before seeing Hisashi. I'm sorry, NG, but this is to protect your and my family. I hope you remember me in a few years. And give this letter to my son in the near future named Izuku Midoriya. See ya on the flip side. NG light flashes. That was the last thing I remembered before Hisashi disappeared from my memories. He never actually told me his last name until he told me his son's name, which made me piece it all together. But still, why would he disappear just like that even from my memories? Endeavor. I'm alright, my head's been hurting ever since this morning. The exact same time I started to remember Hisashi and his promise. Bakugo, the only thing I heard from Auntie Inko was that Izuku's dad works overseas. But he hasn't contacted them ever since. Which makes it strange too, since he disappeared and you forgot about him. This is getting difficult. I checked my phone and Tuya hasn't sent me a single message yet. He could have told me that the Lav was going to frame Midoriya. He's been our spy in disguise this whole time as one of the Lavs named Dabi. Only me and a few people know this, not even Ray and the kids know about this. I just hope he's okay. Alarm. Warning. Level 3 security breach. The alarm activated and stopped the party as some of the students were panicking. I went outside as fast as I can and saw one high-end Nomu and 2 upper-tier Nomu outside. So I went in and charged at the high-end one. Endeavor, Flash Fire Fist. I punched one of them back, but it just regenerated it as the other 2 just looked at me. Endeavor, CRP. Flash Fire Fist Hell Spider. I shoot streams of fire out of my fingers to burn the Nomus, but they dodged the most of them and are regenerating the damaged areas. One of them charged at me as I tried my best to hold him back. Endeavor, it's these Nomus again. This might be harder than I thought. The other 2 charged at me at the same time, but all of a sudden. Die. Heaven-piercing ice wall. A powerful beam of explosion and ice were shot at the other 2 Nomu, knocking them back and temporarily immobilizing them. I looked back and saw Shoto and Bakugo in their hero costumes. Endeavor, Shoto. Bakugo. Get back in there. It's not safe. Bakugo, don't underestimate me. I always wanted to have a one-on-one fight with these things. Shoto, I won't let these things harm my school. So we have to fight them with everything we've got. Endeavor, alright. Just be careful and call for more backup. The high-end one will be the most dangerous one. Shoto / Bakugo, right. / don't tell me what to do. Bakugo, AP machine gun. Shoto, fire burst. Shoto and Bakugo were dealing with the other 2 Nomo while I was busy fighting the high-end one. Endeavor, take this. Vanishing Fist. Back to Izuku's POV. I've been dealing with this Nomo for a while now. It keeps regenerating all of my attacks, but its regeneration is getting slower, meaning it's getting weaker. Luckily the Nomo hasn't noticed Eri yet. Izuku, FA Gene, Fo 100%, Manchester Smash. I used FA Gene and Manchester Smash and kicked the Nomu with a speed like I was using OFA 100%, sending it flying. Izuku, I was lucky that this was an upper-tier Nomu and not a high-end onery. Go Papa. Izuku, oh no, all of a sudden the Nomu ignored me and dashed towards Eri with its fist ready. Izuku, no. FA Gene, Fo 100%. Eri was cornered and nowhere to run. She was shaking in fear and can't move. I came close as fast as I can and hugged her to protect her from the impact of the punch. But the punch never came. Arg. I opened my eyes and saw the Noma's fist stabbed through someone's metal plating. I looked wide-eyed and saw who it was. Izuku, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. The Nomu tosses 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 to the side as he lays there. I felt my eyes change again as they were radiating bloodlust. Izuku, take this. One for all 100%, Delaware Dash. I punched him in the face and flicked my finger, destroying his face. Izuku, Detroit. I readied my fist again, aiming for his body. Izuku, smash. I punched him at his chest, sending him flying to a tree. It didn't regenerate its body anymore, meaning it was dead. My eyes returned back to normal and I went to go check Eri. Izuku, you okay, Snowball? Eri nods and hugs me with tears in her eyes. I hug her back and we towards 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, who was lying with BLD coming out of his metal plating. Izuku, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, why? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴 for framing why I was forced to be a part of it but I need to tell you about Shigaraki's plan. Izuku, what his plan? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, his plan was to frame you and send you to Tartarus so wouldn't be a problem to his plans. Toga used some of your BLD in order to sneak in and make it look like you were the one stealing UA's files. Me and 𝐬𝐵 were about to warn you but we were caught and chained up. Izuku, why did 𝐬𝐵 wanted to help you? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, because 𝐬𝐵 is 𝐻𝐼A Todoroki and a spy in the love. He was the one who convinced me to change my ways. Izuku, where is 𝐬𝐵 now? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, he's going to UA to warn them not to arrest you, but unfortunately we were held back and took a while before we could get out. But you must stop Shigaraki. Izuku, where is he now? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, he's not in this world. Izuku, what do you mean? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, since he didn't want any other hero to mess with his plans to get stronger and take over many worlds. He asked me to make a portal to another world, a world where no powers exist, a world where no one would mess up his plans, a world where no hero exists. Izuku, take me there. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, I can but you can't come back. Izuku, why? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, I'm the only who can make that gateway to another world and many others. If I die right now he has no hope of taking over any other world. But you must protect that world where he is right now. He'll take his time to get stronger but I can't bring you back because I'll be using the last of my strength to send you there. You have to choose to either stay here and let that world crumble or go after him and avenge your father. I looked at him wide-eyed after he mentioned my father and got angry at him. Izuku, how do you know my father? Tell me. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, your father was killed by All For One trying to protect others. The note that Endeavor gave was his final words to you. All For One now belongs to Shigaraki but it will take him years to unsar its full power, so you must go right now and hunt him down before it's too late. I was trying to contemplate what he just said. My dad was killed by All For One and Shigaraki is in another world plotting to take over it. And if I go there was no turning back. I'll be stuck there with a possibility not being able to see any of my loved ones ever again. I mean, I already lost so much in one day, lost the trust of people I call my friends. My girlfriend didn't even care about me, not like she cared in the first place. All Might Me Idol, my mentor and the one who I consider a father figure didn't even help me. I'm sorry Mom, Kakin, Shoto, Uncle, guys. But Izuku, Eri, are you ready to come to another world with me? Eri, I'm ready as I'll ever be, Papa. Izuku, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, I accept. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, V very coughs. Well, me and Eri step back a bit as 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 makes a pink circle portal, which was different from the portals he usually made. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, this is it. Coughs I made this portal W with the L last O of my strength. Coughs I, it will take YUB both T to a random location W where Shigaraki is. Coughs YB both better. Jigo I can't hold this forever. Izu, okay, come on Eri. Before me and Eri went inside, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 handed me a small case. Izuku, what's this? I open them and see a full set of quirk-destroying bullets. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, coughs T, these are quirk D-destroying bullets. Coughs S, Shigaraki M might give quirks T to other T to work F for him. You use these J just in case. Coughs Izuku, thank you. I promise I'll stop him. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, 𝐀𝐮𝐿, B by T, the way and Midoriya will ever forgive me. Izuku, 𝐀𝐮𝐴𝐫, without any of us noticing the Nomu started to tick like a bomb. Izuku, I already forgive you 𝐀𝐮𝐴𝐫 and thank you for saving us. Eri, thank you for saving us Mr. 𝐀𝐮𝐴𝐫. The Nomu then detonated right behind us. As I notice it, I hugged Eri and jumped towards the portal, taking the blast behind me. 𝐀𝐮𝐴𝐫's POV, I see Midoriya and the young girl named Eri jumped towards the portal, protecting her from the explosion. The explosion caused the van to explode and I felt myself getting consumed by it. But at least I'll die as a hero like how I always wanted to be. I am Oboro Shirakumo, sorry Shota and Hisashi, but this is goodbye 𝐀𝐮𝐴𝐫. Tearing up T, thank you Midoriya. As I breathed my last breath I looked towards the sun one more time with a smile before being consumed by the flames. No one's POV back at UA. The three Nomus have been defeated by Endeavor, Bakugo and Shoto. But they had a little help from the other teachers and students, especially from Kirishima, Aizawa, and Nijire and Tamaki from the big three. One Nomu was on the ground unconscious, covered in ice, while the other two were vaporized. Nizu will wait for the authorities to take care of this other Nomo for studying. But thank you all. Kirishima, We did it, Baku bro. Bakugo, of course these things are no match for us. Tamaki, these things terrifying Nijire. Oh come on Tamaki, don't be such a scaredy cat. You did pretty good. Aizawa, but why would 3 Nomu attack UA at this time? Mineta, it must be part of the 𝐻𝐼's plan. Tokoyami, but what dark scheme are they up to? Endeavor was on his knee after using his quirk too much while Shoto was helping him cool down. Endeavor, thanks Shoto, it's nothing. Just rest and cool down. All of a sudden a car stops in front of the gate and the 3 other Todoroki family comes in. Rei, Enji. Are you alright? Endeavor, I'm alright. Rei just overused my quirk. Natsuo, how about you Shoto? We were just driving somewhere and all of a sudden we hear an explosion come from UA. Shoto, I'm fine. Fuyumi, at least none of you guys got hurt. All of a sudden the ice where the Nomu was started to crack. The Nomu then broke out and was aiming a fist towards Rei Todoroki. Endeavor, REI. They all looked wide-eyed as the Nomu moved at a quick pace as Rei covered herself for protection. But suddenly, prominence burn. Blue flames suddenly came out protecting Rei as the Nomu gets turned to ash instantly and falls to the ground. Endeavor looked wide-eyed and saw the person who defended him, but before he could react, everyone except Endeavor, villain. /𝐬𝐶𝐸. Get him. They went in to charge towards Dabi, but Endeavor finally stood up and stopped them, making them confused. Nizu, Endeavor. Step aside. That person is part of the 𝐻𝐼. Endeavor, he's not. He's our spy for the 𝐻𝐼. Midnight, how could we trust you? Endeavor, settle down and let me help my son. Everyone else, son. Rei, son. What are you talking about, Enji? Dabi, it's me mom Tutiya Todoroki. The rest of the Todoroki family looked wide-eyed. Rei, is it true? Endeavor, it's true Rei, he's Tuya. All of a sudden the rest of the Todoroki family hugged Dabi, now revealed as Tuya Todoroki, while they were crying. Natsuo, crying, I thought you died. Shoto, crying, we thought we lost you. Dabi, I'm alive and well you guys, and I got to say you guys have grown so much. While the rest of the Todorokis were busy hugging Tuya, Endeavor was busy being interrogated. Nizu, Endeavor, are you sure that Dabi is your son? Endeavor, he is Nizu. Aizawa, how can we be sure he's really a spy? Endeavor, Tuya, hand me your ID. Tuya throws his ID towards Endeavor and showed the others that it wasn't fake, making them look wide-eyed. Ida, but he's a murderer. He attacked us during the training camp. Dabi, actually 4 eyes, the flames were controlled to not burn most of you. Shoji, he's actually right. Ochako, but you killed other people. Dabi, nope, the people you suspected I killed are alive and were replaced with fake ash. But villains, let's just say, are dead. Endeavor, he was doing that to build his reputation so he can join the 𝐻𝐼. Nizu, the where are the ones you supposedly not kill? Dabi, just relaxing in their homes until I finally reveal myself. Hirtas's phone dial pro hero snatch right there. After they dialed and confirmed it was him, they stopped trying to arrest Dabi. Endeavor, but what are you doing here? Why weren't you calling me? Dabi, sorry old man, but I got a little beaten up. The League figured it out and held me captive. But enough of that, I need Midoriya right now. Where is he? Nizu, that traitor is on a van on the way to Tartarus. Dabi, what? He was the whole reason why I came here. Endeavor, why do you need him? Dabi, this is bad, you all have been tricked. Ida, what do you mean? That villain is going to get what he deserves. Dabi, that villain you're all saying was framed and was our last hope. Ochako, what are you talking about? The video showed it clearly that he was stealing UA property. Dabi, and you're supposed to be his girlfriend. Jeesh, that's some horrible love right there. Ochako, wadash. Dabi, have you heard of Himiko Toga, Principal Nizu? Does that name ring a bell? All of a sudden Nizu had his eyes opened wide. Nizu, someone get me the security footage again. Someone brought out a laptop and plugged in the USB with the recording. They began checking the footage again and saw that it was Toga who transformed to Midoriya and stole UA's files, making all those who didn't believe him look down with guilt. Katsuki, I told you extras he wasn't the traitor. But no, you all decided to trade him for a stupid video. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐚𝐫𝐲, this is bad Dobby, thanks Captain Obvious. I better call 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and tell him to find him as fast as possible. All of a sudden, a live feed was shown on the laptop screen. Reporter, breaking news. This just in, the van that was carrying UA's traitor Izuku Midoriya, who has been subjected to life in prison, has been found wrecked on the side of a road engulfed in flames. Authorities have confirmed the bodies of the guards, a 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼, the supposed ashes of Izuku Midoriya and Eri Midoriya, and a metal plating with a hole in it. Authorities suspected it was an ambush by a 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼 that has costed the lives of these individuals. We'll tell you more about it soon after the break. After the news flashed, some were crying, some were angry and devastated that they couldn't do anything to defend their friend, and some were just in disbelief. He was our last hope. And most of you call yourselves his friends and family, and yet you didn't believe just because of a stupid video. Those who didn't believe in him just looked down crying. Dobby, you're supposed to be the smartest creature in the world. And yet you were swayed by just a simple video. And yet you arrested him and took away his rights. What the F is wrong with you? 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼 just looks down in shame for what he did. Dobby, and you points at All Might. You were supposed to be the symbol of peace. His idol. His mentor. You were supposed to help him master one for all. All Might, how did you dash? Dobby, I heard from Shigaraki, that was the reason why he wanted him out of the equation. And now with him gone, his phase 2 is just beginning. Aizawa, what's phase 2? Dobby, taking over another world. Everyone else, what? Dobby, the only person that could stop Shigaraki is the one with one for all. He used Toga to frame him and get him sent to life in prison, while he forced 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 to send him to a world where no hero or anyone would distract or foil with his plans. He wants to slowly get stronger until he masters all for one and takes over a world. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼, why didn't you have come here earlier? Dobby, I would have if I wasn't held back by the rest of the league. And 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 needed to reserve his remaining energy to send Midoriya to that world. I also thought that you wouldn't believe a stupid video like that over your friend. But now I realize most of you didn't consider him your friend. But now that I look at most of you, you're all just fake friends. Everyone who believed he was a traitor just looks down in shame while shedding tears. Katsuki, the nerds dead sheds tears. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 rips shirt demon it all. Kirishima, shedding tears. Midoriya bro. Shoto, shedding tears. I'm sorry Midoriya, I wish I could have done more. Gets hugged by Momo. Mineta, crying. I lost one of the only friends I had. Promise I'll be a great hero. Aizawa, shedding tears. I'm sorry problem child. And Eri, all of those who believed that he wasn't the traitor just screamed in agony after losing him. And Eri. Dobby, sheds a tear. I'm sorry 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Dad, I need some heroes to come to this address. The rest of the league is in there immobilized and unconscious. Endeavor, wipes tears. Right, I'll call Hawks. I'm sorry Hisashi. But unknown to any of them, Izuku and Eri are in a portal traveling to a world different from what they used to live in, a world where quirks don't exist. A world where heroes don't exist. A world where he must protect from Shigaraki. A world he must defend from evil. A world where people that were like him exist. A world that may help him get over the pain. A world where he can find love again. And many more things he might not expect will happen. In this new world universe, Assassination Classroom location, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 Junior High School Class 3E Building. Nagisa's POV. I was sitting on the ground after a failed assassination attempt alongside Terasaka and the others. The octopus was releasing his bloodlust towards the entire room while threatening us that he might kill any of our relatives holding the nameplates of our houses. Nagisa thought, 5 seconds, and all we knew, there was no running to the ends of the earth for us. If we really wanted to run, all we could do was kill him. Terasaka, what the hell's your deal anyway? I look back at Terasaka and the rest of his friends. He was pointing at the octopus while shaking in fear. Terasaka, you're just a giant pain. Showing up all, I'm gonna blow up Earth and assassinate me. What's so wrong with using an annoying method to kill an annoying guy? All of a sudden the octopus's face became orange with a red circle. The octopus, annoying? Hardly. Your idea itself was a very good one. Especially you, Nagisa. He pats my head with his tentacles while I was still stunned and confused. The octopus, the way you carried yourself naturally on your approach gets full marks. You made it right through the clink in my defenses, however. His face reverts back to normal and points to Terasaka and his group, making them flinch. The octopus, none of you looked out for Nagisa, not even Nagisa himself. That statement alone made them look away in shame. His face then changed to light purple with a dark purple cross in the middle of his face with veins coming out of the sides. The octopus, students like that aren't fit to assassinate anyone. Face reverts to normal. Looks towards all of us. We need an assassination worth to be smiling about, one to be proud of. You're all capable assassin who have that power within you. Raises a tentacle. Some advice from your teacher and your target. Nagisa, thought chewed out at Mach 20, then praised with waving tentacles. This unusual education made me pretty happy. All because this unusual teacher was looking at us head on. Terasaka and his group, while I just looked at the octopus as he was looking at me. He placed a tentacle on a burnt mark left on his desk as he raises another one to ask me a question. The octopus, here's a question for you, Nagisa. I have not the slightest intention of being killed. Looks at the class. I will enjoy my time with you all until next March, then blow Earth up. If you don't like it, what are you going to do about it? Nagisa, surprised, we've never assassinated anyone before, and there's plenty of other stuff we should be doing. Clenches fist, but you know, I think this teacher might even accept my bloodlust. Before you destroy Earth, I'll kill you. The octopus, Nurafufufu, the do it now. Once you've killed me, you're free to go home. Everyone. Just like that, huh? / you know we can't kill you. I went walking back to my seat and looked back at the octopus, who went back in front of the entire class. Nagisa, thought, we are killers. And our target is our teacher. The octopus, wiping nameplates. Wipe it clean. Keano, an unkillable teacher. I look at her. 𝐻𝐿𝐼. Koroso. How about Koro-sensei? Nagisa, Koro-sensei. The octopus, now named 𝐻𝐿𝐼, looks at us with an interested look. Nagisa, thought it's us and 𝐻𝐿𝐼 in our assassination classroom. All of a sudden a pink-looking portal appears by the door, startling us. Everyone, what's going on? / what is that? / are we going to die? 𝐻𝐿𝐼, calm down everyone. Stay back. 𝐻𝐿𝐼 picks all those in the front rows and heads to the back row. Most of us were shaking in fear on what might happen. Maihara, are we going to get abducted? Okajima, I'm too young to get abducted. All of a sudden an explosion comes out of the portal and a weird looking comes out, rolling towards the wall as the portal disappears. Karasuma comes inside the door. Karasuma, what's going on in here? What's with all the screaming? 𝐻𝐿𝐼, it wasn't us. A portal came out of nowhere. Then an explosion happened from it, and now there's this weird steaming rock. Isegai, that's a steaming rock. We look back to the so-called steaming rock. The steam disappears and reveals a green rabbit-looking figure with a yellow bag and yellow scarf. It also had some metal armor on its feet and arms with white gloves. Terasaka, what is that thing? I decided to come closer to check on it. 𝐻𝐿𝐼, wait Nagisa. It might be dangerous. Ignoring their protests, I decided to flip it to make it lie on its back. Then a white-haired girl with a horn was revealed, being hugged by the individual. From the looks of it, they're both unconscious. Nagisa, a young girl with a horn. Okuda, is it a cutaneous horn? Terasaka, maybe she's a demon. Nagisa, I'm not sure. I noticed that the green thing was actually a suit because I saw a bit of its mouth. So I decided to remove the hood, and it revealed a dark green-haired male with a set of 4 symmetrical freckles in a diamond formation. He looks to be injured, with blood slightly coming out of his mouth. Nagisa, he's human, like us. Keano, but is he alright? It looks like he's injured. Karasuma, I think we. All of a sudden 𝐻𝐿𝐼 disappears, then reappears holding medical supplies. 𝐻𝐿𝐼, I'll patch him up. Then maybe we could ask him questions later. We step back as 𝐻𝐿𝐼 cleans up his wounds and places bandages over his head and some on his arms as he lays him back on a mat he placed on the floor along with the white-haired girl on his side. 𝐻𝐿𝐼, that should do it. We should wait until they wake up. For now we just have to watch them before they decide to do something without us noticing. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, for now I want a clear explanation of what happened. Some of us began to explain that while 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 was teaching, a portal opened up from the door and these two came out. 𝐻𝐵 was saying that he might be a hero from another world while others weren't believing anything. But I saw something on the floor that fell out of the mysterious person's bag and went to check it, and it was an ID. 𝐻𝐵, Izuku Midoriya. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, what's that 𝐻𝐵? When 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 asked that, everyone then looked at me with a curious look as well. 𝐻𝐵, it seems to be his ID Izuku Midoriya. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, I haven't heard of a school like that before. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, what's the Hero Public Safety Commission? 𝐻𝐵, so he is a hero from another world. 𝐮𝐼𝐻, and his hero name is Deku. Terasaka, he doesn't that mean useless? Kenzaki, maybe he had a reason to call himself that. All of a sudden we all heard groaning and see the male known as Izuku waking up. Izuku's POV, I slowly felt myself slowly starting to wake up. Using the second user's quirk does a bit of a number on me. I slowly sit up, rubbing my eyes as I was still in a bit of pain. Izuku, where am I? I finally open my eyes and see a bunch of students who look like my age looking at me. They were with an older man with black spiky hair and a yellow octopus. Did Kurojiru really send me to another world? I was startled, so I sit up, readying my finger to do a Delaware smash. Izuku, who are you? And where am I? All of a sudden the older male comes close to me, looking at me. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, I am Tademi 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 from the Ministry of Defense. And I presume you are Izuku Midoriya. So they speak Japanese, or am I just in another part of Japan I don't know of? Izuku, yes, but how do you know my name? Blue-haired male that looks like a girl. Sorry baby, but we found your ID on the floor and we found out about who you are. Places ID near me, please don't kill us. I sigh, then put my hand down. Izuku, sorry, I was just startled and basically had a rough day. I won't kill any of you. All of them calmed down and relaxed a bit. Izuku, but can I ask? Where am I? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, you're at 𝐾𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵 Junior High School. A prestigious school in Tokyo. Tokyo? I haven't heard of this school anywhere in Tokyo. Only one more question, Izuku. Who is the octopus and what is quirk? Octopus, quirk. Izuku, you know, like superpowers. How about the rest of you? Do you have any powers? 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, sorry, but we don't have powers or what you call quirks. So this is another world, Izuku, so I really am in another world. Purplish black-haired girl, so I was right. Stars in her eyes, what was you world like? Izuku, I live in a world where 80% of the world's population has abilities called quirks. Quirks are superhuman abilities that a person can possess, giving them powers like super strength, fire manipulation, flight, speed, and more. Because of quirks, the age of heroes sprouted out from them. 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, I see. Izuku, I guess I'll properly introduce myself first before further questions. I am Izuku Midoriya, hero in training. Well, former if you were in my world. I am currently 16 years old. I live in a world where powers and heroes exist. Nice to meet you all. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, I am 𝐻𝐻𝐿, the teacher of this class. But who is that white-haired girl beside you? Izuku, oh, this is Eri Midoriya, my daughter. Everyone, daughter. Izuku, adopted daughter. Everyone, oh. 𝐻𝐵, I am 𝐻𝐵 Shioda, and I want to ask. Why does your daughter have a horn? Izuku, pats Eri's head, it's part of her quirk. But she can't fully control it yet. 𝐻𝐵, I see. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵, hi. I am 𝐀𝐮𝐽𝐡𝐨𝐵, how did you adopt her anyway? Izuku, smiles, well, I saved her from a villain a few months ago. The villain used her as a lab rat and experimented with her. I saved her along with a couple of heroes back then. She eventually grew attached to me and called me Papa a few times. And that was when I decided to adopt her. 𝐀𝐮𝐽𝐡𝐨𝐵, that's nice. She looks so cute. Izuku, chuckles, she is. All of a sudden Eri groans as she slowly starts to wake up. She sits up and rubs her eyes and looks at me. Eri, Papa. Izuku, hey Snowball. Eri, Papa. All of a sudden she hugs me while I just chuckle and hug back. Izuku, it's okay. Snowball pats her head. I am here, kisses her forehead. Girls, We didn't that the others were actually watching us and taking pictures. Eri hid behind me scared. Eri, Pipapahua, NWWRRWE. Izuku, it's okay Eri, these people won't hurt us. And Eri, we are in another world. Eri, stars in her eyes really. Izuku, yeah, Snowball. How about you introduce yourself to them? Eri, okay. Looks toward the rest. Hi. I'm Eri Midoriya. Sweet smile, nice to meet you all. I could have sworn I almost felt I had a heart attack. I look towards the rest of the class and I see their expressions were like mine. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 just smiled. Izuku chuckles, yup, Eri just bring joy wherever she goes. The girls then started to get close to Eri and play with her. At first she was a bit scared, but I just nodded her with a smile and she immediately had fun with them. While she was having fun, I decided to ask the boys their names and a couple of questions. Izuku, I see so 70% of the moon was destroyed by 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. And now he's here to be your homeroom teacher and target entirely for 365 days. And your jobs as assassins and students is to kill him before March or the earth will be destroyed. Nagisa, yeah Izuku, and if you kill him the government will pay you 10 billion yen. Isegai, yep. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, and maybe you can help us to kill him. But can I ask you, how and why are you in our world? Izuku, CRP. I can't tell them that I'm in this world because I was framed, I might lose their trust. I can't also tell them that Shigaraki is in this world, it might cause more chaos and they can't deal with Shigaraki, only I can. I could just fake it and tell them that a portal appeared and 𝐬𝐿 the both of us in before an explosion got us. I have been always faking a smile and acting like nothing hurts in the past, what's so wrong on redoing it again? Well, me and Eri were 𝐬𝐿 by a portal before an explosion happened in a laboratory and we appeared here with no way of going back home. I see 𝐀𝐻𝐿 stare at me while I maintain a normal face. He then sighs a few seconds later. 𝐀𝐻𝐿 sighs, I guess you and her could stay here, if you can maybe help us with assassinating this thing. I look towards 𝐀𝐻𝐿 then to 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 who was busy dodging some of the males trying to assassinate 𝐀𝐻𝐿, but he keeps dodging. Izuku, so this is the one who destroyed 70% of the moon. Nagisa and the others told me he has a speed of Mach 20, meaning he's faster than any hero or villain in my world. He may even faster than me using OFA 100%. He also has inhuman regeneration, senses and reflexes along with those tentacles. He also can only be damaged by weapons made by the matter he's made from. But he's also extremely intelligent, maybe equally or more than that DMN rat. There may be still more things I don't know about 𝐀𝐻𝐿, but the one thing I don't get is why when you have all that power and you're basically unkillable won't he just take over the world? He must have some secret he hasn't revealed. But I could also use this as an opportunity to train and get stronger to get revenge on Shigaraki and to avenge my dad. Sure. I don't mind. Looks at Eri and looks like Eri's having fun already. The rest of the boys look at Eri laughing and having fun with the girls. Kayano was playing with her hair while the others were smiling. I couldn't help but smile and I noticed the others smile too. The others continued to have fun while the other boys asked me a couple of questions. Everything was all right until I felt a sharp stabbing sensation on my head as I hold my head in pain. Danger sense was active. This worried the others as they all look at me. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, Izuku, are you all right? Izuku gets into a fighting position. No, something's coming. I heard a few loud screeches outside and immediately went towards the window to check, and I see Izuku. Nomus, I saw 10-winged 𝐻𝐿, a chainsaw 𝐻𝐿, and a USJ 𝐻𝐿 coming out of a portal outside near the training grounds. The other were getting scared as well as Eri. Sugino, what are those things? Izuku, those are 𝐻𝐿. Artificially modified human beasts that were turned into mindless super soldiers. I suggest you and Koro. Before I could even respond, 𝐀𝐻𝐿 was already outside hitting the USJ 𝐻𝐿 with a barrage of tentacle attacks, causing a humongous amount of dust to form. Izuku, blocking the dust. Does Shigaraki already know I'm here? Or maybe he's targeting 𝐀𝐻𝐿 because he was the one to destroy over half the moon and doesn't want anyone or anything to foil his plans. As the smoke clears, the 𝐻𝐿 was revealed to have many wounds on its arms after blocking 𝐀𝐻𝐿's attacks. 𝐀𝐻𝐿 was breathing after attacking it with a barrage of hits. Nagisa, Is it over? Izuku, no, it's not yet over. All of a sudden the 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻's wounds begin to close up and regenerated its lost limbs, shocking everyone. Terasaka, what the Izuku? That thing has shock absorption and super regeneration. It'll take more than a barrage of hits to kill that thing. The other 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s then charged at 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and tried to attack him, but he just continually dodges the attacks. Okajima, so are we all going to die? Izuku, no, puts on hood, stay in here and don't go outside. I'll deal with them. Karasuma, puts hand on my shoulder, wait, if not even him can't kill that thing, how can we be sure you can? Izuku, it's because you haven't seen what I can do yet. Eri, stay with 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and the rest. I'll be back, okay? Eri nods and hugs onto 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 tighter. I then went outside and looked towards the 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s, remembering my talk with the users before I woke up. Flashback, as I was flying through the portal, I was with the users again talking to them. Yoichi, so Shigaraki is planning to take over another world. Izuku, yes, according to 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 he's in this new world we are going to. Nana, but now the question is, what will he do in this world? Izuku, he might use 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s to target the ones who might be the greatest threats to his plans. Second user, 9th is right. If he plans to MSTR all for one, he would need to eliminate anything that could mess up his plans. But he wouldn't do it himself, or it would cause him more problems. 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻, but now we need to think of ways to defeat the 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s at an easier rate. Izuku, using the second user's quirk made it a bit more easier than how all might use to deal with the 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s. But I need more power to defeat them faster. Third user, or maybe you need to find a way to use one for all in more ways than how used to. Izuku, Daigoro, he's right, kid. Remember, one for all is a lot stronger than before in your hands. Which means the assimilated quirks aren't as weak as before and can now be used in a variety of ways. And I think it's time for one for all to continue to evolve. Flashback and no one's POV. After Izuku stepped outside the window, he was now looking at the other 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s and breathed heavily before stomping a foot on the ground and activating the second user's quirk. Music starts. Izuku, destructive death. Technique development, compass needle. A light blue snowflake-shaped compass appears underneath him with numbers from 1 to the others. Watching looked shocked and amazed. Nagisa, whoa, Terasaka, isn't this just a light show? Karasuma, this might be one of his abilities. The 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s was about to charge towards 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 with another punch, but Izuku, one for all, full cowling 45%. Izuku charged towards it in human speed and intercepted it. Izuku, Detroit Smash. The attack caused a massive shockwave to occur, knocking 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and the other 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s back a bit. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, Izuku. But you're still injured. Izuku, 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐻s, protect the students. I got this. 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐻s hesitantly nods and heads back to the others, meaning I could slightly increase the power of my attacks. Izuku, okay ugly, let's kick it up a notch. One for all, full cowling 65%. 8-layered demon core. Izuku unleashed 8 powerful shockwave punches on the 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s and continued to do a barrage of more punches, causing more powerful wind pressure. The pressure causes the trees to sway more vigorously and causes the others to try to not get flung away. 𝐀𝐮𝐴, a head-on F-fist fight. Nagisa, amazing. Karasuma, this pressure is insane. Terasaka, I think I don't want to get on his bad side now. Eri, go papa. Izuku continued to send a flurry of punches on the 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s, forcing it back more. Izuku, Shigaraki doesn't learn, does he? He didn't replace shock absorption to nullification. All I need to do is to apply more pressure to this thing. Reaha. The chainsaw 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s broke through the shockwave, aiming an attack behind me. 𝐀𝐮, Izuku. Behind you. But I noticed using the second user's quirk and stopped doing a barrage of punches and jumped up. 2 flying 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻s tried to attack me, but I also noticed it. Flashback. Second user. Remember 9th, my quirk allows you to generate shockwaves when you attack, and using compass needle to let you aim at their vital parts. But now that one for all evolved it, you can sense your opponent's fighting spirit, aura, and emotion, making you have an easy chance in a battle royale. 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻. My quirk may allow me to sense any incoming danger, but using the second user's quirk before charging in a battle is a good choice. My quirk can be used to sense incoming danger out of battle, while using compass needle is perfect in battle. Flashback and Izuku, They were right. Time to kill those two first. Destructive Death Crushing Type. 10,000 Leaves Flashing Willow. Izuku charged back down with a fist aimed towards the two flying 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿. And he smashed their heads to the ground, causing a massive shockwave and a crater, killing them. Izuku, I might have to fix the ground. But I'll do it later for now. Destructive Death, Disorder. Izuku punches the air, sending a bunch of powerful ranged shockwaves towards the rest of the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 who were charging at him. The attacks overwhelmed them, knocking them away a few feet more away from Class 3E's building. Izuku, that should keep them from doing anything else to the others. Notices a flying 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 heading towards the class. Oh no, you don't. Black Whip, Pinpoint Focus. Izuku quickly shoots a tendril from his arm while focusing on the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿, catching it. Class 3E, Tentacles. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, but they don't look like mine, maybe they're just tendrils made out of energy. Izuku, take this. Black Whip, 75% Detroit Impact Smash. Izuku pulls the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 back and charge at the same time. And smashed a fist on its guts, breaking the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 in half, killing it. Izuku, 3 down. 9 to go. I have to finish this fast. But I have to take out the flying 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 first. Flashback Daigoro. Like what the second user said, kid. One for all is stronger than before, meaning our quirks can do things it wasn't able to do before. Meaning Black Whip can't just be used as to immobilize opponents or to swing around. But you can now use it to be as tough as a shield or as sharp a sword. Nana. And my quirk doesn't just basically allow you to suspend you in thin air anymore. But it can now allows you to fly as fast as hawks. Second user, you can also create your own moves to enhance your battle prowess. Remember, All Might is no longer here, you have to develop your own moves now without inspiration from him. Now it's your turn to make one for all your own. Flashback and Izuku, right. Black Whip Construct, Blade and Axe. Float. Izuku summons tendrils to come out of his arms to form a blade on one and an axe on the other one. He also slightly floats over the ground, shocking the others even more. Class 3E, he can do that and fly too. Karasuma, just how many abilities does this kid have? Izuku, alright you pest, time to slice and dice. Izuku flies up towards the remaining flying 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 and charges at one. Izuku, take this. Izuku unleashes a bunch of slashes towards the flying 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 and sliced it to bits. Izuku, I think I'll infuse my attacks with the second, third and fifth user's quirk. One for all, full cowling 40%. Destructive Death Blade Type. Fragmented Flash. Plus FA Gene, Foe 100%. Izuku charges towards the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 in behind all the others in blinding speed. All the others that were in front of the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 got slashed to bits and exploded. Izuku, Wrath. He then slashes down the final flying 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 in half, causing it to explode with a massive shockwave. Izuku lands back down on the ground, breathing and looking towards the 𝐬𝐮𝐽 and Chainsaw 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿. Izuku, I've used too much of my energy, I could faint any second now. But I have to make sure no one gets hurt. Come at me. The Chainsaw 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 charged towards Izuku without hesitation. So he changed the arm he used to have an axe to a blade too and began exchanging a flurry of slashes. Izuku, I'll use it again to finish this thing off. Destructive Death Blade Type. Dual Phantom. Plus FA Gene, Foe 100%. Izuku continued to do a few more slashes at the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 and dashes towards the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 and appeared right behind it as the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 explodes in a form of an X slash. Music ends. Izuku then deactivates the Black Whip blades and stares towards the last 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿. He was breathing heavily and barely able to stand. Keano, do you think he's alright? Nagisa, I don't understand how his power isn't dropping. 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐚𝐫𝐲's injured and has been using a ton of energy. Sugino, so this is what it's like to be a hero. Fuwa, these are like the heroes I've read in the mangas. They never give up and will fight till the end. Izuku, 11 down. 1 to go. All of a sudden the multiple eggs began popping out of the 𝐬𝐮𝐽 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿, which revealed to be six more 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿, shocking everyone. Ryo, there are more of them. Izuku, so this thing is like the high-end 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 that Endeavor fought. I guess I have to finish these things now. Music start. Izuku cracks his knuckles and stretches his legs. Then he looks at the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 and narrows his eyes on them. Izuku, now's the chance if you want to quit. If you don't get into a stance, whatever happens to you, I won't care. One for all, full cowling 60%. The 𝐻𝐼𝐴 ignored it and just screeched. Two of the 𝐻𝐼𝐴 that just popped out charged towards Izuku to attack him. Izuku, so be it, destructive death, upper thrash. Izuku charges towards the both of them and launched them both high. He then charges a shockwave on his fist and smashes them back to the ground. Izuku, let's play. The two other 𝐻𝐼𝐴 charged towards Izuku while the other two were trying to get back up on their feet. Izuku, destructive death, flying planet 1,000 wheels. Izuku kicks with both legs in a flowing motion from under the 𝐻𝐼𝐴 and he's slowly rising upwards. Izuku, Manchester smash. Izuku kicks one of the 𝐻𝐼𝐴 back down to the ground while he's sitting on the neck of the other one. Izuku, 100% Wyoming smash. Izuku draws out 100% of his power into his arm, then proceeds to spike his opponent on the head, destroying it, creating a powerful shockwave as a result. And it sent the 𝐻𝐼𝐴 back to the ground, hitting the other 𝐻𝐼𝐴, decapitating its head in the process. The other two get back up and charge towards Izuku again. Izuku, Nebraska smash. While throwing a punch, Izuku rotates his arm to create a tornado. The tornado destroyed them in the process. Izuku, come on. Let's settle this. The two final 𝐻𝐼𝐴 that came out of the USJ 𝐻𝐼𝐴 charged towards Izuku. Izuku, one for all 65%. Destructive death, drive knuckle. Izuku charges towards the both of them and punched the 𝐻𝐼𝐴 with a shockwave attack. He then uppercut them and jumped with them with a twirling fist attack. He finally finishes it off by jumping up high, charging 65% of OFA shockwave attack on his fist and punching them back to the ground while decapitating their heads. Izuku, and now you left. This is where it ends. The 𝐻𝐼𝐴 screams and then charges towards Izuku as he charges too. Izuku, consecutive normal punches. Izuku launches a volley of quick, single-handed punches from his right hand on the 𝐻𝐼𝐴. The attack causes intense amounts of wind pressure and causes the 𝐻𝐼𝐴 to screech in pain. The 𝐻𝐼𝐴 gets sent back a few meters but immediately gets back on his feet and charges back towards Izuku, preparing to attack him. Izuku, this is where it ends. One for all 100%. Destructive death. Izuku charges a huge amount of shockwave energy on his fist to form an orb out of it. The 𝐻𝐼𝐴 then jumps and attempts to pounce on Izuku, but Izuku, it's over. Omega Blast. Izuku hits the 𝐻𝐼𝐴 with the attack and causes a powerful shockwave to occur. The shockwave causes the dirt to fly everywhere, blinding everyone. 𝐒𝐮𝐴, hold on tight everyone. Everyone braces the amount of wind pressure that nearly sends the entire building flying away with them. The pressure and the dust slightly settle as everyone gets back on their feet. Music ends. 𝐒𝐮𝐴, is everyone okay? The class nods while coughing because of the amount of dust in the air. Nagisa, but is it really over? Rio, is he dead? Papa's still alive. I know it. The dust finally settles and reveals Izuku slightly standing, holding his fist up in the air. The 𝐻𝐼𝐴 was gone and was annihilated due to the attack. The pose he did resembled another hero in his world. Class 3, he did it. Terasaka, that was awesome. Keanu, he's still standing. Eri, Papa did it. 𝐒𝐮𝐴, this kid might have a chance to kill me. Nura Fufufu Karasuma, now I have more reason to keep this kid. Izuku's POV, I did it. I defeated an army of 𝐻𝐼𝐴 by myself. I know that this is only the beginning of what Shigaraki might do. But with Eri, the other users and maybe new friends, I might be able to do it. But I would also have to be a student and assassin in this new class and kill 𝐒𝐮𝐴. Izuku, 𝐒𝐮𝐴. Before you destroy this world, I'll kill you. 𝐒𝐮𝐴 looks at me with a goofy smile and I smile back. Before I felt my eyes grow heavy and start to fall down. But just like Uncle, this is my start as a hero, a student, and an assassin in the Assassination Classroom. Somewhere else, no one's POV, unknown to Izuku, someone was watching him through a spy drone. Looks like player 2 has arrived, and here I thought he would have been dead by now. Scratches neck, Diamanic Kurogiri and Dabi. Booty don't have to worry about targeting the government. Takes out a file using 4 fingers. I have to take out the octopus and that green-haired brat. Then nothing can stop me from taking over and destroying this world. He drops the files which contains information about 𝐀𝐮𝐬𝐴 next to a photo with Izuku on it. I might have to change up my plans. But I'm coming for you, Deku, and 𝐀𝐮𝐬𝐴. The spy drone then disappears in thin air. Izuku's POV. It's been a while after me and Eri arrived in this new world. I just dealt with a bunch of Nomu and saved Class 3. Luckily I was able to patch up and heal my injuries before they became too fatal. I'm enrolled as one of their new students even though I'm like a year above them. The government converted the money I had, which was like 2,000 yen stored in my bag, to nearly over 700,000 yen, which was like way totally overboard. But where am I complaining? I was able to use the money to buy me and Eri a house. The government took care of our food and clothing and bought us some. Since Eri doesn't want to leave my side, she was going to join me in class, and also because she saw 𝐀𝐻𝐿, and if she told other kids about it she may go under a memory wiping opportunity. Karasume gave me anti-sensei weapons, consisting of a knife, guns and bullets to go with the guns. I was also given books and a uniform which was like 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴's uniform. I was waiting for Eri downstairs before going to school. Izuku, Snowball, we're leaving. Eri, coming papa. I hear her come down the stairs wearing freshly clean clothes she was wearing during the cultural festival. Izuku, are you ready, Snowball? Eri, smiles, of course papa. Izuku, then let's go. But first puts a brown beanie on Eri's head. Let's put this on you so they won't suspect a thing. Eri, okay papa. Let's go. Izuku chuckles. I think she wants to play with 𝐀𝐮𝐿 again. Time skip. Me and Eri were in front of the Class 3E building. After we got close to the forest near the campus, I used float to fly us up there so we won't get noticed by other students. Karasume told me to keep my powers a secret to others except the class. Me and Eri went inside and went towards the classroom. I saw Nagisa, Sujino, 𝐀𝐮𝐿 and a few other in the class. Class doesn't start for a while, so I guess we were early. Izuku, hey guys. Most of Class 3, hey Izuku. Eri, hello everyone. Girls, hi Eri-chan. Eri runs towards to the other girls while I went towards Nagisa and Sujino. I could already see Eri having a smile while talking with the girls. I couldn't help but chuckle. Izuku chuckles. Looks like Eri's already made some friends. Nagisa and Sujino looked at the scene and see Eri playing with 𝐀𝐮𝐿 and Kanzaki. They also smiled at the scene. Nagisa, I guess you're right. But how's your injury? Izuku, it's all good. Trust me, I've dealt with worse. Remembers villains back at his world. By the way, where's 𝐀𝐻𝐿? Sujino, he's outside behind the school. Me and Nagisa are planning to assassinate him right now actually. You want to come along? Izuku, sure I guess. And maybe I could gather more information about 𝐀𝐻𝐿. 𝐀𝐮𝐿, can you take care of Eri? Me, Nagisa and Sujino will be right back. 𝐀𝐮𝐿, sure. Come on Eri. Eri, I see Eri and 𝐀𝐮𝐿 play with the other girls again while me, Sujino and Nagisa went to where 𝐀𝐻𝐿 was to assassinate him. A few minutes later we find 𝐀𝐻𝐿 behind the school sitting on a recliner, sipping a drink and reading a newspaper. The three of us were behind a tree watching 𝐀𝐻𝐿 carefully. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, the moon is all they're talking about in America too. I wish there were more interesting front page news. Izuku thought. So he's literally caused a nationwide panic, huh? Nagisa told me on the way here that he relaxes behind the school every day before class. And he has a drink and a newspaper he got from Hawaii. Can I even do that at a quick rate? Sujino whispers just as reported. Thanks, Nagisa. Nagisa nods and whispers yep. Good luck, Sujino. Sujino whispers you got it. That 10 billion is mine. Izuku thought. So he's planning to kill 𝐀𝐻𝐿 with a baseball. It could work, but I think 𝐀𝐻𝐿 would catch it in time before it would even hit him. I should probably start finding ways to assassinate 𝐀𝐻𝐿 and find where Shigaraki is. 𝐬𝐵. I left my notebook back at the classroom. Size, I'll just do it later, then maybe go train again. We are killers. I'm a hero in an assassination classroom with an innocent Snowball. And our target is our teacher. Sujino throws the ball silently towards 𝐀𝐻𝐿, but just before it hits 𝐀𝐻𝐿, good morning. He was right behind the three of us greeting us good morning. Just how fast is he? 𝐀𝐻𝐿, remember, speak up when you greet someone. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and I just keep looking towards where he was, and now. Even I was in disbelief of how fast he was. I only heard he had Mach 20 speed, and since this is my first time seeing something that fast, I was completely blown away. Izuku and 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵. Good morning, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Embedding those anti-me-BBs into a baseball. A fine idea. It won't make the kind of noise an air gun would. However, I had all this time to kill waiting for the ball to arrive, and my cells would fall apart if I touched those BBs directly. So that's why I pooped over to the equipment room to grab a 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 with the baseball on it. I look at 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵 and 𝐂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 as they both have a look of shock and disbelief, while me, after hearing his explanation, Izuku, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, I do hope you can kill me before graduation, that is. Suddenly all of us hear the school bell and 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 walks away while we were still dumbfounded. 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, now then, time for homeroom. 𝐂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, sad yes, Sir 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵, and I looked at 𝐂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 as he had a sad look. 𝐂𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, damn it. Guess my ball won't do the trick after all. Izuku and 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵. 𝐂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 Izuku, thought, 𝐂𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 don't lose hope now. Inside the classroom, still Izuku's POV, 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 was just teaching a lesson while everyone was listening. But I was writing on my notebook with Eri on a chair next to me. Note, Izuku's chair is just behind Okuda while Eri's seat is behind Sugaya. Izuku, writing on my notebook, so 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 vaporized 70% of the moon. No wonder Shigaraki wants to get rid of him, because he might become a problem to him. And he says next March, he'll destroy Earth. Shigaraki with AFO might equal him in terms of world domination, but in intelligence I say 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 wins by a landslide. But my question still is, why would someone like 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, a being with that type of power, wants to be our teacher? Whatever reason it is, the Ministry of Defense gave us a mission to kill him by next March. And whoever does gets paid handsomely with 10 billion yen. Luckily the ministry hasn't asked me anything about Shigaraki. But as a hero and 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵's student or assassin, it's my job to kill him. But while I was writing, I heard 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵 and 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵 talk to each other. I don't know how or why I could hear them from this distance, but who cares? 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵, hey, 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵 looks at her. 𝐂𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨�'s assassination attempt failed this morning. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵, he's been down in the dumps ever since. So yeah, 𝐂𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵's baseball assassination attempt almost worked, but unfortunately 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 sensed it and found a way to catch the ball. I might have to write down that he has superhuman senses in my notes. I would feel like 𝐂𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 whenever something goes bad with my plans, but still 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐵, it's nothing to get bummed about. I mean, none of us have succeeded yet. She's right. But in our defense, a bunch of students against someone faster than a bullet train is kinda hard to deal with. I wonder if I can match his speed with 100% full cowl. Maybe not. In my condition right now, even with my hero gear, it would just injure me before I could land a hit on him. And besides, I might accidentally destroy half a forest along with the school with full cowl 100%. His nickname really does fit him, 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 or 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, the unkillable teacher. While I was writing, 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 suddenly runs up to Sugaya and takes his notebook at blinding speed. 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, Sugaya-kun. He looks at Sugaya's notebook with a terrifying face but with stars on his eyes. Sugaya just looks like he could PSS his breathes any second. 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, so close. But my features are a bit finer than that. 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 shows Sugaya's notebook to the class. It had a drawing of 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 but with his corrections on it. Mahar, finer how? Izuku, time skip, school bell rings. 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, now then class, I have some business to take care of today, so if you'll excuse me. Izuku, business. 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵, yes. Catching a game in New York. And then 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐵𝐵 flies out of the window, leaving a dust trail behind. Luckily Eri's a heavy sleeper. Yoshida, there he goes. Terasaka, what's his deal? Kurahashi, it'd be nice if he brought back some souvenirs for us, at least. Kataoka, who wants souvenirs from their assassination target? I guess I better wake up Eri. I think she must have gotten tired after playing with the others. Izuku slightly taps Eri to wake her up. Hey Snowball, wake up. Eri groans and rubs her eyes as she begins to wake up. She stretches and looks at me while rubbing her other eye. Eri, hey Papa. Izuku, are you hungry? Snowball, do you want some candy apples? Eri, drooling candy apples. Izuku chuckles, she does love apples a lot. Luckily I was able to make some. Takes out a candy apple from his bag. Here you go, gives Eri the candy apple. Eri, thanks Papa. I swear, this girl might give me a heart attack before I could even defeat Shigaraki. I see the girls look at us with a look that just screams, hubby, while some of the boys had smiles on their faces. Mahara, you're a pretty good father, Izuku. Izuku scratches back of his neck. Thanks, I guess. I know it's hard being a single father now, but I love Eri and I'll protect and take care of her. Yada, I'm sure Eri misses her mother, right, and you miss her. Izuku looks down. Why, if you guys only knew. In truth is, why would she even care about me? She stopped caring about me even before I was accused as a traitor. Uraraka just used me. She would go out with Ida behind my back. I saw her once going out with him and even kissing on the lips when she didn't even kiss me once. She even did it with him. I didn't tell anybody but wrote it on a diary back in my world. Because I still love her back then, but after she didn't even believe me, I lost that feeling. Yada. I heard Izuku, no, it's alright. I just remembered something back in my world. Yada. Okay, I won't go through further if it's something personal. But if you need someone to talk about it, you have all of us and me. Izuku smiles. Thanks Yada. Yada, blushing and no problem. I noticed that her face was red and I was about to ask her if she had a fever. But the door opened and revealed Karasuma with a government agent. Izuku, oh, Karasuma-san. Karasuma, how's it going? Any clues on how to kill him? Nagisa, clues. I noticed the others looked down while I just continued to write on my notebook. Hazama, well, we are the E-class. I still don't know anything about the school system, and why did E-class have to be isolated on a place like this? I wanted to ask someone, but it might cause a bit of a ruckus if I do. But one thing I know is that the system here is different from UA and Shiketsu. Isegai, it's impossible, Karasuma-san. Mimura, he's way too fast. Okajima, you can't kill anything that flies at Mach. He's got us there for a bunch of normal students. When your enemy had inhuman speed that could go Mach 20, the chance of you killing him is at least 1%. Karasuma, indeed, no army is capable of that feat. Okajima, told ya. Karasuma, but only you have the opportunity. For whatever reason, he insists on being your teacher. Izuku-kun, can't you somehow match him? Izuku sighs. I might, but it won't be easy. Karasuma, what do you mean? Izuku, I guess I'll explain my power to you guys. My quirk is called superpower. It allows me to stockpile enormous amounts of raw power to enhance all of my physical abilities to superhuman level. But in a rare case I gained more than what I could bargain for, like the powers Float, Black Whip, FA Gene, Danger Sense, and Destructive Death. Each of them have their own unique usage. I have another power, but it's best if I could save it for next time just in case. Terasaka, but if you have all that power, why not just kill him already? Izuku, because I have one thing that 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's speed doesn't. Karasuma, and that is. Izuku, a drawback. Looking at 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 now, his speed doesn't have any drawbacks whenever he uses it. However, my powers are like a double-edged sword. The more I use them at a percentage I can't control, or the more times I exceed my limits, the more it destroys my body. So far I can control up to 45% to 55% throughout my whole body without the use of special gear. But with gear I could enhance it to 65% to 75%. But since my gear was damaged during the battle and there aren't any special types of doctors who can easily heal severe damages, I have to rely on 45% to 55%, which is very far from Mach. All we can do now is to just identify 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨's weaknesses and exploit them. Unkillable or unbeatable doesn't exist. Everyone has their own weaknesses. Karasuma, I understand. Left to his own devices, come next March, he'll blow Earth up. Izuku, and I guess judging by the moon we all know one thing, Karasuma and Izuku, he's too dangerous to be left alive. Karasuma, this classroom is the only place he can be killed. Izuku, I know back in my world I don't agree about killing anyone. But now since it might be the only way, and a couple of other things that happened back in my world, I guess it might be the only solution. And besides, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 isn't the only threat to this world. Time skip. No one's POV. Class 3E is currently at their break time. Most of them were eating in the classroom while the others were somewhere else. Eri was with 𝐀𝐮𝐭 and the other girls. Eri was eating another candy apple while Izuku was outside taking a little breather. 𝐀𝐮𝐭, Eri, you're just so cute. Eri, thank you. But 𝐀𝐮𝐭 and the others notice Yada looking down a bit and deep in thought. 𝐀𝐮𝐭, Yada, is something wrong? Yada, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴. I was just thinking about something, that's all. Kenzaki, what is it? Kuranishi, you've been like that even yesterday. Yada, did you notice the look on Izuku when I asked something about his world? Rinka, now that you say it, yeah. Yada, the look in his eyes shows like something bad happened back in his world. 𝐀𝐮𝐭, I noticed it too. The moment you asked that, the emotion in his eyes changed suddenly but then came back to normal afterwards. Rio, Eri, can you tell us on what happened back on Izuku's world? Eri, I'm sorry, but Papa doesn't want me to tell anybody else about our world. Fuwa, did he tell the reason why? Eri, Papa said it was a bit of a touchy subject to talk about. Yada, I guess there is not point in asking him about it. But still, Eri, Yada-san, do you like Papa? Yada, blushing. No, I mean, I know he's cute and all, and strong and heroic, starts to daydream but then shakes her head, but I still get the feeling there is more in him but we just don't see it. 𝐀𝐮𝐭, I guess. But maybe during his time here we could get to know him more, like how we're getting to know Eri more. By the way, where is he, Eri? Eri, Papa said he needed to do something outside. Outside, Sugino was sitting by the stairs holding his lunch but then covers it again and places it near him. He looked down and was troubled by something. But then 𝐬𝐻𝐿 came behind him and showed the ball in his hand to him. 𝐬𝐻𝐿, all polished up, Sugino-kun. Sugino, 𝐬𝐻𝐿, wait, what are you eating? 𝐬𝐻𝐿, a coconut I bought in Hawaii yesterday. Bites, wanna bite? Sugino, takes ball, you're supposed to drink out of it. 𝐬𝐻𝐿, nice throw yesterday. Sugino, easy for you to say. Clearly I have no hope of hitting you at Mach 20 with my throwing speed. 𝐬𝐻𝐿 looks at Sugino, so you're in the baseball club. All of a sudden Sugino stops throwing the ball up and down and looks down. Sugino, I used to be. 𝐬𝐻𝐿, used to. Sugino, clubs, the class isn't allowed to be in clubs, out at this satellite campus. Our bad grades got us here, so we're supposed to focus on studying. 𝐬𝐻𝐿, that's some major discrimination. Sugino, it's alright. You saw it yesterday, right? How slow I am. So slow that I couldn't pitch a single strike, and I got benched. Pretty soon I lost interest in studying too, and wound up in the Olin class. Unknown to the both of them, someone was listening to their conversation. Izuku, so he was like me, it was Izuku. He was supposed to be training outside, but he saw Sugino and 𝐬𝐻𝐿 talking to each other and decided to listen on what they were talking about. Izuku, he reminds me of myself back when I was a kid. No, not just him, maybe all of class 3. Izuku was one of the students who studied at Aldera Junior High before going to UA High. But even before going to Aldera, he already suffered discrimination at a higher stake. Class 3E suffers from verbal and social discrimination, while Izuku suffered from verbal, social, physical, and even suicide baiting. Teachers wouldn't mostly give a CRP about what would happen to Izuku. Neither the students on what would happen to him, because he was quirkless. Quirkless people are the 20% of the population back at his own world. And most would think that those with powers would protect those powerless. Well, they're dead wrong. 5% of the quirkless people die from suicide, murder, abuse, or accidents just because of something they couldn't control. He pieced it together somehow that Class 3E faces some sort of discrimination, judging by how he heard what Sugino and 𝐬𝐻𝐿 were talking about. The discrimination involves getting isolated in a classroom far away from the main campus. That they get socially isolated from the other students and verbally discriminated. It may be a good system to others, but to those who suffered discrimination like Izuku is hell. The function of this system to isolate the best and ditch the rest is bull CRP and corrupted. It's no longer about grades, it's about lumping a group of people in one area and taking away their privileges even if they show improvement. It's basically like back at his world on how most of the 80% treat the 20%. If there was one thing Izuku hated the most, and that was seeing people like him being discriminated. But he was somewhat thankful because he was able to drastically improve and conquer his challenges. And he thinks 𝐮𝐮𝐻𝐽 needed some motivation. His thoughts were interrupted as he sees 𝐮𝐮𝐻𝐽 being wrapped by 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's tentacles. And he sees Nagisa come out looking at the both of them. Nagisa, wow, he's really up in arms. Nagisa gets closer to them while Izuku just continues to hide and see what will unfold. Nagisa, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. What are you doing? What about your pledge not to hurt any students? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. 𝗧𝗜𝗓𝗧𝗟𝗘 𝐶𝐮𝐿 that unique pitching form I saw yesterday. You're copying a major league pitcher 𝐻𝐿, aren't you? Izuku then continued to observe the situation and the way 𝐮𝐿 reacted, meaning 𝐀𝐻𝐿 was right. It was like how Izuku used All Might as an inspiration, but it became like a shackle to him and holding him down. But ever since his internship with Gran Torino and help from the other users, he was able to see that he should make one for all his own quirk and use it in his own style and not imitate anyone else. And now he sees that 𝐮𝐿 needs to learn that. 𝐀𝐻𝐿 stands up and places 𝐮𝐿 on the ground, but you know, the tentacles don't lie. Your shoulder muscles are out of whack compared to 𝐻𝐿's 𝐮𝐿. What's that supposed to mean? 𝐀𝐻𝐿, you won't be able to pitch his super fastballs with that body, no matter how much you try to imitate him. When 𝐀𝐻𝐿 finished, Izuku could see the shocked look on 𝐮𝐿's face. And the dark look on Nagisa's face. But on his point of view, 𝐀𝐻𝐿's right. Nagisa, how can you be so sure? Clenches fists. 𝐮𝐿, Nagisa. Izuku's POV. Nagisa, because we're misfits. Because we're the E class, the N class. So why bother? Is that it? They really remind me of what I felt from the inside whenever I was discriminated. Nobody applauded me for my abilities because I was quirkless. No matter how much I tried to imitate the heroes I idolized, I couldn't be like them. Even now, 𝐀𝐻𝐿, well, how do I know it's impossible? All of a sudden he pulls out a new paper with a headline, "Tentacles Attack" on it. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, yesterday I checked the man himself. Nagisa and 𝐮𝐿, Izuku, and here I thought he either talked to 𝐻𝐿 or just read it about somewhere. But still, was that the reason why he went to watch a baseball match yesterday? Did he really went all the way to New York just to help 𝐮𝐿? 𝐀𝐻𝐿 shows a board I got his autograph too. The board literally had, "Knock it off, tentacles." 𝐻𝐿. Is he serious? But still I remembered the times I would appreciate a hero just signing my notebook. Nagisa, you asked him for an autograph like that. No wonder he was furious. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, crying in happiness. It was shock. Shock. Nagisa, sighs 𝐮𝐿, I get it, I just don't have his talent. He's right there, but 𝐀𝐻𝐿, on the other hand, pokes and prods 𝐮𝐿's right arm. Your elbows and wrists are more flexible than 𝐻𝐿's. Train well and you could far surpass him. These FNDLNG for comparison sake tentacles are never wrong. Places a tentacle on his shoulder, there's more than one kind of talent. Izuku, he's right, you know. I finally came out of hiding looking at 𝐮𝐿 with a smile on my face. While they had a slightly shocked face. 𝐮𝐿, Izuku. Izuku, I heard everything. And 𝐀𝐻𝐿's right. There's more than one kind of talent. Kneels in front of him, I used to be like you. 𝐮𝐿. Izuku, I copied a lot of techniques of the heroes I idolized did. But in the end they ended up holding me back from the potential I had. Inspiration isn't bad, but Gran Torino. Analysis and prediction? But you're stiff. And there's discord within your mind. That's why it turned out like this. The way you used one for all in the cavalry battle and the tournament, you already should understand it. But your admiration for All Might and your sense of justice are like shackles. It's true that you need to get stronger, fast. But time and enemies won't wait until you get stronger. You're thinking one for all is more special than it is. Izuku, it may have taken me a while to realize it, but it was all worth it. But being someone you can't be is impossible. Remember, you're not 𝐻𝐿, but you're your own person. It depends on you if you want to work hard to become greater than him in your own way. And remember this, a dropout will beat a genius through hard work. It just depends on you if you're willing to put the effort to do so and HRSS your own style to a perfect blade. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, very well said. Izuku-kun looks at 𝐮𝐿, find an assassination that suit you style, walks back inside the school. 𝐮𝐿, My elbows and wrists are better. 𝐻𝐮𝐦𝐸 talent. 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, I guess I better head back inside as well. I need to get some stuff. I went to follow 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 back inside and just look at him. He's really a great teacher. Just looking at him and seeing what he did makes me see that there's more to him than meets the eye. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, 𝐻𝐻𝐿. Before 𝐻𝐻𝐿 opens the door to the teacher's room, we both look behind and see 𝐻𝐵𝐵 coming to 𝐻𝐻𝐿. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, you mean you went to New York just to give 𝐂𝐮𝐭 advice? 𝐻𝐻𝐿, of course. I'm his teacher. Normally teachers wouldn't go that far just to help a student. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 is like Mr. Izuku but more on the positive sides of life. He helps students he can in his own way possible. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, most teachers wouldn't go that far. But you will. The guy who's going to destroy Earth. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 suddenly remained silent for a moment. Maybe he's remembering something. But yeah, a teacher with the power to destroy Earth just helped a student learn something. He's definitely hiding something from us. But I won't barge into their personal business because they might do the same to me. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, 𝐻𝐵𝐵-kun, Izuku-kun, I became your teacher to keep a promise I made. Takes 𝐻𝐵𝐵's notebook and grades it with lightning speed. I will indeed destroy the Earth, but first, I'll be your teacher. He then shows 𝐻𝐵𝐵's notebook to the both of us. He showed the marked word which had no major grammar mistakes and a great ending fantastic diary entry, written all over it. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, taking you kids seriously is more than the end of the world. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, 𝐻𝐻𝐿 takes back his notebook while I just continued to stare at this teacher with a slight smile. For someone willing to destroy this world, he's really prioritizing on the students first. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, please don't write weird problems on the back. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, what? I looked at it and saw tentacles drawn all over the page. Izuku, sweat drops, seriously. His methods may be weird, but, 𝐻𝐵𝐵, I know you want to show off your grading speed, but 𝐻𝐻𝐿, it's like a bonus. Sweats nervously, I thought you'd be happy. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, more like a penalty. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, so, I hope all of you will seriously enjoy both studying and assassinating. Face gains green stripes even though you'll never pull off the assassinating part. Eats his own pen. Izuku, sweat drops, just what type of appetite does this guy have? But even if he's weird or his methods are class 3, you should be glad that they have a teacher like him. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, by the way, Izuku-kun, Izuku, yes 𝐻𝐻𝐿. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, the way you talked to 𝐂𝐮𝐭 before. Was it all true? I slightly flinched and it was noticed by the both of them. And I felt my eyes losing its emotions. Izuku loses emotion in his eyes. Why is 𝐻𝐻𝐿? Oh 𝐻𝐵𝐵, is something wrong Izuku? Izuku, it's just that I saw the pain he was facing and wanted to learn more on why he was like that. So I decided to spy on the both of you and hear what you guys were talking about. And I saw something in 𝐂𝐮𝐭 and decided to step in to help him. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, what did you see? Izuku, get away from here you quirkless bee. You can't do anything right. You're never gonna make it. You can't be a hero. You're quirkless. You're not good enough. Nobody cares about you. Just give up on your dreams and die. Izuku smiles sadly. Him in class 3 he reminded me about something, but it's best if I don't tell it for now. I just did what a hero would do in situations like that. A hero helps someone when they're physically or emotionally in trouble. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, I see. Thank you for helping 𝐂𝐮𝐭. I'm sure it'll be a big help for him in the future. Izuku, emotion returns to his eyes. I'm sure it will. Smiles. I better head back and get something or maybe check on Eri. See you later 𝐻𝐻𝐿, and 𝐻𝐵𝐵 walks away. While I was walking I was trying not to break down or show any way of weakness. Man, when was the last time I cried? I'm trying to suppress my emotions to not worry anyone. I won't let anyone know about my childhood or what happened to me before I got here. I don't need help. A hero doesn't need help and doesn't cry. I don't need anyone to worry about me. Not 𝐻𝐻𝐿, not class 3, not Karasume, not the users, not even Eri. Izuku, I'm fine. I don't need help. Time skip. No one's POV outside the class building somewhere. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 was using a blue penguin snow cone machine, humming to himself as he was sitting on a blanket. But unknown to 𝐻𝐻𝐿, a few of class 3 was hiding behind the bushes watching 𝐻𝐻𝐿. Karaoke whispers, there he is. 𝐮𝐦𝐬𝐚𝐫𝐲 whispers he said he'd be snacking on shaved North Pole ice today. Mahara whispers that Octopus hittin' the North Pole like it's the corner shop. 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽 whispers now. We split the 10 billion. Yada, Takaoka, Mimura, Maihara and Okano all nod as they initiate their assassination attempt. While 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 was still busy focusing the snow cones, 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴. He was interrupted as he hears a few students coming towards him. He sees 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽, Yada, Takaoka, Mimura, Maihara and Okano coming towards him with sweet smiles on their faces while Yada was waving her hand. 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽, Yada, Takaoka, Mimura, Maihara and Okano, can we have some shaved ice too? 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴 cries with tears of joy while having a pink blush on his face. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, they've opened their hearts to me with such smiling faces. But the sweetness in the air ended in flash, when suddenly all 5 of them withdrew their knives and attempted to pounce towards 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, and such lethal intent. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴 suddenly disappeared in flash just before they landed the attack, leaving a dust cloud behind. They started coughing badly because of the dust. But when the dust finally settles, all that was left was just the blanket and an empty tipped-over snow cone machine. All 5 of them looked confused. 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽, 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, but you know your smiles were a little forced, said by 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴 who was behind them holding a strawberry-flavored snow cone and a towel. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, that wasn't enough for me to let down my guard. Drops towel set aside these dangerous anti-sensei knives. He drops the towel he was holding which revealed to be their anti-sensei knives. As they all looked shocked and saw that they were actually holding flowers in their hands. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, stop and smell the flower, and start by learning to put on a good smile. Kataoka inspects flowers. Realizes, hey, 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, these are the flowers we've been growing. She screamed, making 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽 and 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴 flinch. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, sweating nervously, is that so? Yada covered her mouth in anguish while Okano was wiping small tears from her eyes. Yada, voice cracking, that's so low 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴. After we took such care of them and they finally bloomed, slightly tearing up. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴 waves tentacles, apologies. I'll get you some new bulbs. He disappears and reappears holding seeds. Here you go. 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽 and Maihara just sweat-dropped looking at him. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴 begins planting them while Okano and Takaoka are watching him. Okano, don't go planting them at Mach speeds now. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, understood. Kataoka, handle each one gently. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴, got it. 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽 and Maihara just watch what was happening with a little sweat drop. Maihara, isn't he planning to destroy the earth? 𝐮𝐻𝐬𝐽, why yeah, and here he is planting tulips. Behind the shed, Terasaka and his crew, Yoshida, Hazama and Muramatsu, watch the events that are unfolding. Terasaka, teach. The monster's trying to be all goody two-shoes. Scene change. Kayano, what are you writing, Nagisa? Kayano spotted Nagisa in front of the school door watching what was happening while writing something in his notebook. Nagisa continues to write, I thought I'd jot down 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴's weak points. I might get a good assassination hint from him. Kayano peeks on his notebook. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐴's weak point 1. When he shows off, things get shaky. Kayano, and that's supposed to be useful. Nagisa sighs and re-examines his list. But then Sugino takes his notebook and started to flick through the notebook. Sugino, what do you mean? They could come in handy. He stops on a page and begins reading it. Height, about 3 meters, standing tall. Special moves, supersonic speed cruising. Sugino, the hell is this? Kayano, sonnet useful then. Nagisa, not right now. All of a sudden the 3 of them heard someone muttering a bunch of words. Nagisa, do you guys? Sugino, PS. Points. Nagisa and Kayano looked to where Sugino was pointing. And they saw Izuku beside them writing on a notebook while muttering, which was getting slightly louder. Eri was also with him and she was staring at Izuku too. All 3 of them couldn't understand what he was saying or writing. All they know is that they're looking at a rap god. Kayano, Izuku. Izuku. Oh, sorry, was I disturbing you guys? Nagisa, no, not at all, but what are you doing? Izuku, I was just writing info about 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and maybe find a way to use a weakness and exploit it. He continued to write on his notebook while three of them look at his notebook saw the contents of the page. Name, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 alias, the octopus species, unknown gender, male age, maybe an adult height, approximately 3 meters or 9 feet 8 inches weight, unknown BLD type, unknown goals, destroy Earth, teach class 3E due to a promise powers. Antimatter physiology superhuman speed Mach 20 regeneration flight protective coloring skin shedding once a month superhuman senses superhuman digestion superhuman reflexes skills assassination expertise genius intellect known weaknesses anti-sensei weapons when he tries to act cool, his weaknesses show. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, wow 𝐾𝐻𝐵, that's a lot of info do you like to write? Izuku chuckles embarrassingly it's sort of a hobby to me. But I can only find one weakness so far. But as time goes on I'm sure we can kill him. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, 𝐾𝐻𝐵 and 𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Yeah. 𝐻𝐵𝐵, by the way can I write some of your? Izuku smiles sure. I just hope 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 brings what I need and the assassination works. Time skip 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 just finished talking to Principal Asano about him being Class 3E's new P.E. teacher starting the next day. He was heading towards Class 3E's building while thinking. 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴, walking I see. If a handful of students is discriminated harshly against, the majority will work harder, fueled by pressure and a sense of superiority. Its structure is reasonable enough, and that satellite campus is perfect for our top-secret mission. Those end-class pariahs must be almost ready to snap, though and by the way I wonder why did Izuku-kun needed these. 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴 arrived at the Class 3E building with 2 suitcases in his hands. He saw both 𝐾𝐻𝐴 and Izuku carrying a bunch of bamboo in their hands. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, hey there, 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴. 𝐾𝐻𝐴 went closer to 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴 and greeted him while she kept bouncing up and down on her feet. Izuku followed her and looked at 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴 with a smile on his face. Izuku, hello there 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴-san. 𝐀𝐻𝐿a𝐴, hello. Starting tomorrow, I'll be here to help you out as a teacher. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, always. 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴, I look forward to it. Izuku, I look forward to it also 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴-sensei. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, alright. From now on, you'll be 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴-sensei. 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴, Izuku gives him a suitcase here, like you requested. Izuku, thank you, 𝐀𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐴-sensei. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, what's inside? Izuku, well Izuku opens it and reveals 10 new anti-sensei knives, C4 attached with anti-sensei bullets and a remote control, and a smoke bomb. Izuku, stuff that I might need to assassinate 𝐂𝐮𝐴. 𝐂𝐻𝐴, by the way look to his side where is he? Izuku, well Okajima then ran past them holding a thick rope. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, 𝐂𝐻𝐴 ruined the class's flower bed, so to make up for it, they looked to the side where 𝐂𝐻𝐴 was tied up to a branch of a thick tree. He was dodging the students using Mach 20 speed while some of the students were using their anti-sensei knives tied to the bamboo Izuku and 𝐾𝐻𝐴 had. Some were aiming and shooting at him with guns. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, he's handicapped himself for an assassination competition. 𝐂𝐻𝐴, dodging a little something extra by way of apology. Both me and 𝐾𝐻𝐴 went close to 𝐻𝐵𝐵. He was holding his anti-sensei pistol with a look of hopelessness, while me and 𝐾𝐻𝐴 had a skeptical look. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, any luck, 𝐻𝐵𝐵? 𝐻𝐵𝐵, he's totally not taking us seriously. 𝐂𝐻𝐴, you call this assassination? Izuku, hang on gains the three's attention going by 𝐂𝐻𝐴's weak points my plan should work perfectly. 𝐂𝐻𝐴, what plan? Izuku, how about you check your notes? I'll be back uses full cowl. Izuku sneakily goes on to the roof of the school building holding the suitcase. Izuku, fixing stuff, judging by 𝐂𝐻𝐴's personality. After shaking the tree so much the branch will collapse sooner or later, meaning he'll be on the ground struggling to break free and will soon be running from a mob of students. And since this is the highest place in this area so far he'll fly up here. So I'll place the C4 down here and as soon as he lands here I'll activate the C4 launching the anti-sensei bullets toward him. But if that plan fails I have the smoke bomb here that will trigger a few seconds after the bomb explodes and initiate plan B. Izuku then places the C4 down on the school's roof with the smoke bomb next to it. He then sneakily goes back to where 𝐾𝐻𝐴 and the others were. 𝐾𝐻𝐴, Izuku where did you go? Izuku, just readying my assassination attempt. And in a few seconds I think that one of the weaknesses Nagisa and I wrote will be right and the second one I wrote after observing 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵. Nagisa, what second one? Izuku, shoo, just watch. Luckily Eri's watching YouTube on my phone with headphones on. They go back to watching 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 who was dodging the attacks with green striped face. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, I'm afraid it's no use, students of Class E. Even with this handicap, I'm still far faster. Izuku notices the branch on where 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 was tied at and raised 3 fingers. Izuku, 3 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, killing me. Izuku, 2 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, is still a far off. Izuku, 1 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, dream. The branch suddenly snapped and 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 landed face first on the floor. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, Izuku, now in less than a second. Class 3, now. Kill him. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, rats. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 just continued to roll on the ground non-stop, dodging an angry student onslaught. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, too dangerous. Too dangerous. Too dangerous. Izuku and Nagisa. Weakness number 1, when he tries to act cool, his weaknesses show. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, those notes might come in handy. Nagisa, I'm gonna keep at it. Izuku, then ready your number 2 already. Because it'll come sooner or later. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, hey wait. My tentacles are tangled up in the ropes. Izuku, weakness number 2, he is surprisingly quick to panic. And now time to activate my plan. The 3 of them look interestingly at Izuku as he was holding the C4 remote in his hands. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, stop it. Gets free from the ropes. Why you little flies away. Karaoke, DMN. He got away. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, lands on the roof. You'll never make it all the way up here. You lack the base capability. Dummies. Kimura, and we were so close. Izuku, internally smirks. Just as planned, Izuku presses the button and all of a sudden the C4 behind 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 explodes and sends a lot of the anti-sensei bullets flying. It scared most of the others, and when the smoke finally clears, 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 finally appears and was slightly damaged. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, what the heck was that? Nagisa looks at Izuku and sees the slight smile on his face. Nagisa, shocked. He's the first one to hurt 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵. Izuku, and now for plan B. The smoke bomb suddenly explodes and it covered 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 in a cloud of smoke. Izuku, black whip dash. Black like tendrils. Came out from Izuku's fingertips and headed towards the suitcase that was underneath where 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 was. The WHPS picked up the 10 knives in the bag. Karasuma, shocked. I may have underestimated this kid too much. Here I thought he would be relying on brute strength to defeat that thing. Izuku, deadly dash. The knives aligned all perfectly underneath 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵. Izuku, tentacle dash. Class 3, shocked. Izuku was ready for this. Izuku, stingers. The 10 knives plunged into the smoke screen and stabbed right though something as yellow stuff came out. Keanu, did he do it? The smoke slightly clears and reveals. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, hello class. Everyone flinched and looked behind them and saw 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 slightly injured. Izuku, how did dash? 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, just before the knives stabbed me. I was able to avoid the final blow, but unfortunately the smoke finally clears and revealed that the knives stabbed through a giant honey jar. Everyone, a giant honey jar. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵, it was fresh from Africa. Crying I was supposedly saving it for later. Izuku, looks down and clenches his fists. It failed. Why did it fail? Haha. Look at him. He can't even make a proper shot as far as a dog could throw. You're even more worthless than a dog. You're lower than a dog. You're an ant. You're a failure. Your existence is a complete mistake. He might not even understand you. No one loves a useless person like you. Maybe your entire birth was a mistake. If you really want to be useful, Izuku, clenching his fist tighter. Damn it. Not again. My plan was useless just like me. Keanu. Izuku. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 places a tentacle on Izuku's head and Izuku looked up and saw his face with a gentle smile on it. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐵 rubs his tentacle softly on his head. It didn't entirely fail, Izuku-kun. The attempt completely caught me off guard. You were ahead of my thinking and planned to assassinate me at my weakest state. You did a good job, Izuku-kun. I never would have thought a hero would be able to land the first direct blow on me. Use this experience as a way for you to improve. As he was patting my head, I slightly smiled, a smile that was genuine. The feeling was a feeling I don't feel from something else other than my mom. Inko pats his head. Just do your best, Izuku. I'll be here to support you in whatever dream you choose. Izuku, thank you, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴, but I am doubling tonight's homework. Class 3, so petty. Weakness number 3, he is petty. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴 flies away. Nurafufufamahara, he's gone. Kataoka raises her fist triumphantly, but this is the closest we've ever gotten. Isegai raises fist in determination. If we keep this up, we'll definitely get our chance to kill him. Yada, ooh, and then we get 10 billion yen. Izuku was still contemplating his thoughts but was interrupted as Keano touched his shoulder. Keano, think we can kill him, Izuku? Izuku chuckles. We will. There's still a tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. How about you, Nagisa? Nagisa, we will. Otherwise, we'd never be able to face him. Karasuma's POV. Karasuma thought, junior high kids talking happily about assassination. This is one unusual space, all right. I look at the other and saw Izuku being congratulated by the other students. Yada, that was amazing, Izuku. You almost had him. Izuku scratches the back of his neck embarrassingly. Well, Isegai, she's right, I didn't expect it from you. Yada, I only thought heroes were about brute strength, but you managed to outsmart 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴. Kataoka, maybe you can teach us more about your plans. Izuku, sure. Karasuma thought, Izuku, you managed to surprise me with your attempt today. I never thought you had something like that in you. It's so strange how the students with the liveliest expressions at this school are here in class with their target teaching them. Karasuma looks again at the class and saw Yada blushing after being complimented by Izuku on how he almost got 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴 too. She was covering her face in embarrassment while Izuku was panicking. Izuku's POV. I was trying to calm Yada down after I complimented her on how she almost got 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴. I smiled at her and she suddenly got flustered and embarrassed for I don't know what reason. I asked her if she was alright and she just smiled at me sweetly and said it was alright and thanks for the compliment. I felt my heart skip a beat slightly as I smiled back. I look at the sky and back at the class who were chatting ways on how to kill 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴. I don't want anything bad to happen to this world. I have to stop Shigaraki and 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴 from doing something horrible to this world. Izuku smiles. I'll protect this world and especially this class. Looks at class 3E because they were just like me back then. At the Ministry of Defense building, inside the building in a dark room with only white light shining. A female agent along with a male agent are in the room. Female agent, those are the circumstances. Given the crisis the Earth is in, you must speak of them to no one. The unknown occupant looks at the paper he was holding. It had a briefing of 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴 on it. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴 was holding a sign with the word president while he had green stripes on his face. Female agent, if this gets out, you will be made to undergo a memory wiping operation. Yikes. Female agent, all members of the E-class have received the same explanation. They're already part of the mission along with a new transfer that came a while ago. Once your suspension is over, you will return to E-class. Therefore, you too will be given the assassination assignment. So, drops paper to his side. Does this RBB knife really work? Shows a RBB knife and bends it. Female agent, yes. It's harmless to humans, but we guarantee it will work on him. Huh. I guess it doesn't matter if he's not human. He suddenly stabs the anti-sensei knife on the paper he dropped near him. He picks up the knife with the paper attached to it. I've always wanted to try. He then drops the knife and paper to the ground. And it reveals that the knife stabbed right through 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴's picture. The face of the unknown was revealed to be a short red-haired male. He has pale skin and pale sharp eyes that appear as either mercury or goldish in color. He had a shadow cast over his eyes, had a sinister smile, and his eyes glint ominously, killing a teacher. No one's POV outside Class 3E's building. You could hear all the students. Class 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Class 3E was in their P uniforms on the field, counting while swing their anti-sensei knives and stabbing the air. Class 3-5. 6. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Ah, the sounds of exercise echoing across the field on a sunny afternoon, how peaceful. 𝐀𝐮𝐴 was fanning himself with the daisy he's holding while he watched them. He was wearing an unflattering gym teacher uniform / 𝐀𝐮𝐴, or so it would be if the students didn't have weapons in their hands. Class 3-7. 8. 𝐾𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Wield your knives properly from all 8 directions now. 𝐾𝐮𝐴 was next to him wearing a white polo with a black tie. He had his hands on his waist watching and ordering the students. 𝐾𝐿, from now on, I'm in charge of physical education. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, that makes me a little lonely. 𝐾𝐿, didn't I tell you to make yourself scarce during this PRD? Points behind him using his thumbs. Go play in the sandbox with Eri or something. 𝐂𝐻𝐿 was now in the sandbox with Eri while he was miserably building a sand castle. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, you're so mean, 𝐾𝐿. Eri, come on Mr. Octopus. Let's make a sand castle. 𝐂𝐻𝐿 looks at 𝐾𝐿. I'll have you know that my students happen to like my PE activities. Suddenly Sugino, Okajima and Sugaya stopped counting along with the rest of the class. Sugaya, Laya. 𝐂𝐻𝐿's physical abilities are just too different. Okajima, same goes for Izuku, he's the only one who could keep up. Sugino, do you remember that one time? Flashback. 𝐂𝐻𝐿 was standing in the middle of the field looking at the rest of his students. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, now let's try jumping side to side. I'll show you how it's done. He then used Mach 20 to move in a blur. It was so fast that there were like 3 afterimages of him. Maihara, Sugino, Okajima, as if. Are you kidding me? 𝐂𝐻𝐿, once you're used to it, toss some cat's cradle into the mix. He then was holding a red yarn and began doing 3 types of cat's cradle while still doing repeated side steps. Maihara, Sugino, Okajima, Diamin, he's good. All of a sudden they feel massive amounts of air beside them and see Izuku doing repeated side steps as well. Class 3E, are you kidding me? He was moving not as fast as 𝐂𝐻𝐿. He was using full cowling 45% and was holding 2 canvases with paintbrushes beside his area. Okajima, is he painting? A few minutes of doing side steps, he stops and breathes. And he throws one of the canvases to 𝐂𝐻𝐿 as he stops doing side steps. He looks at the painting and starts to cry tears of joy. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, it's appealing. The class became curious and decided to check the painting and all of them dropped their jaws. It was painting of 𝐂𝐻𝐿 and with the same art style as Mona Lisa, but the background was the classroom window. Sugya, Diamen, this looks pretty good. My heart, even though it's 𝐂𝐻𝐿, it still looks amazing. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, what is that supposed to mean? Izuku, here you go snowball. They look at where Izuku was as he was wiping the sweat and paint on his head. He gave the next canvas to Eri as she looks at it and then she gives Izuku one of her sweetest smiles. Eri, it looks appealing papa. The class gets curious again and looks at the painting. It was Demon Slayer crossover art. Izuku was Tanjiro wearing his clothes and the Hanafuda earrings. While Izuku is carrying Eri and she was Nezuko wearing her clothes, having the ends of her hair red and the bamboo on her mouth. Girls, Kaya. It looks so cute. Izuku scratches back of his neck. Thanks I guess. Eri has been enjoying watching Demon Slayer on my phone lately. So I decided to make a painting based on it. And I also read the manga and it was pretty good. Even though the ending was phewa, don't spoil me. Izuku, hee, sorry hee. Maihara, Sugino, Okajima, Diamen, he has raw talent. Flashback and Izuku, the training was good for me though. Okajima, because you're a superhuman. Rio, he's just too far out. Sugino, I'd like a human teacher for gym, thanks. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, oh, gloomy boo hoo hoo Eri, don't be sad Mr. Octopus, let's play. 𝐾𝐿, okay, let's get back to work. Maihara, but Mr. 𝐾𝐿, is there any point to all this training? Maihara questions as the others look at him. Maihara, and should we be doing it right in front of our target? 𝐾𝐿, it's same in assassination as in studying. Drill the basics and they'll serve you well. Nagisa, thought the same. 𝐾𝐿, Isegai, Maihara, step forward. The both of them came forward and were facing 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 with their anti-sensei knives. 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, try hitting me with those knives. 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐬𝐽, are you sure? �ྨ𝐻𝐻𝐼, as a team. 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, those knives won't hurt us humans. Just tie if they give me so much as a scratch, you can go home for the day. 𝐒𝐮𝐽𝐬, okay. Both of them get into a stance and are readying for an attack. 𝐒𝐮𝐽𝐬 jumps forward attempting to strike, but 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵 dodges it by moving to the side. 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, come on. �ྨ𝐻𝐻𝐼 strikes next, but 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵 intercepted it and grabbed his arm to shove him away. 𝐒𝐮𝐽𝐬 attempts to strike again, but 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵 dodges again. They both then went to attack, but 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵 just dodges or repels their attacks. 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, as you see, with a little knowledge, even I can handle the knives of two amateurs. Nagisa, wide eyes, wow, Izuku, thought, 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei's good. Both boys scorned from the insult and tried to attack 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵 again. But he just grabbed both of their wrists which held the knives, then he flips them both to the ground. 𝐒𝐮𝐽𝐬 and 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐼. 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, if you can't even hit me, your chance of hitting him at Mach 20 is slim to none. While we were sparring, he looks to the sandbox where 𝐻𝐮 and Eri is at. 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, he built Osaka Castle in the sandbox, changed his clothes along with Eri's, brewed some tea, and made Eri a candy apple. 𝐒𝐮𝐽𝐬 thought, how infuriating, 𝐀𝐻𝐮𝐵, how about I give you another example? Izuku, how about you try to slash me? Okajima, but sensei, he'll just use his, 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵. Without your power, unlike most of you, Izuku is an all-rounder who prioritizes on close combat and sometimes ranged attacks. But this is my test for him if he somewhat knows how to use knives. But when I get my hands on your knife, I'll have to fight back. So how about it? Izuku, sighs, okay 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei, besides this wasn't the first time I wielded or fought against someone wielding a knife in combat. But I haven't in like a few years ago. Both Izuku and 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 look at each other in a daze off while Izuku was holding the knife in front of him. 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵, I'll let you take the first strike. Revenge. That made 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 flinch as he looked around looking for the terrifying voice 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵. Shocked. Where did that come from? But as 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 looks at Izuku who was in front of him, instead of him he saw a giant vicious beast surrounding a shadow of a black being who has red eyes. The beast was surrounded with fire, it was looking ready to pounce on its enemies and kept saying revenge over and over. Imagine fire surrounding the beast. Revenge. 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 I will have my revenge. They will all burn to ashes. 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵, what the dash? 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei. 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 closes and opens his eyes again and saw the worried and innocent look Izuku gave him. Izuku had his knife poking on 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵's chest. Izuku, 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei, is everything alright? You kinda froze in place. 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵, why yesari? Congratulations though on being the first one to land a hit on me. Did you use your power though? Izuku, no 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei, you can ask the others. But it still wasn't a fair match though sensei. I just saw you froze and used the opportunity to strike. 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵, I see you did a good job using the opportunity to strike. But next time I won't go easy on you. Was that Izuku that I just saw? Is this kid hiding something else? No, it might just be my own thoughts. Izuku, I'll look forward to it then 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei. 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 looks at the rest of the class. Once the whole class is capable of hitting me, your chance of success will increase by leaps and bounds. During gym class, I'll be teaching you stabbing, shooting, all the assassination basics. Sugino, 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵, that's all for today. Class 3, bows, thank you. The class separates to talk with each other. But unknown to them, a red-haired student was watching them. Yada. 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei is kinda scary, but he sure is cool. Chorus sensei winces in the background when he heard that. Kurahashi smiles, right? Do you think he'll pat us on the head if we manage to hit him? Chorus sensei trembles more. Nervously. Rinka, I mean he didn't pat Izuku's head though. I still wonder. Izuku sighs, that's because I attacked when he wasn't ready. I still don't know what happened though. But all in all, 𝐻𝐻𝐮𝐵 sensei does remind me of a teacher back in my world, Aizawa-sensei. Eri, you mean Uncle Aizawa, Papa? Izuku, yeah, Snowball. Yada, really? What was he like? The other three looked interested. Izuku, well, in terms of personality they're both slightly alike. Aizawa-sensei is just more lazy, sleepy and sometimes harsh. I mean, one time he literally expelled an entire class just because they didn't show any potential. Rinka, Yada and Kurahashi. What? Izuku, but he did that so they can experience death once, so they can all improve once he enrolls them back. He was one of the reasons why I improved so much. Aizawa, I'm sorry to tell you that for the next 3 years you will run you through the ringer. That's plus ultra. Use your strength to overcome it all. So bring it. Aizawa, no good hero is a one-trick pony. Aizawa, I'll watch you. If you're going to do this properly, Midoriya. Got that problem, child. Izuku, he may look strict and sometimes act that he doesn't care about me and the others. He does, he just doesn't show it to us. But through his actions he shows it to us. Smiles and like Karasume-sensei, I'm sure he may look scary but deep inside he cares about us. And besides his teaching is also pretty amazing. The three of them smile at his comment with unnoticeably faint blushes because of Izuku's smile. Karasume heard the entire thing and tried his best to hide his smile. But 𝐬𝐮𝐴 just looks mortified after hearing their comments. 𝐬𝐮𝐴, you're trying to steal my popularity from my students, aren't you? Karasume, don't be ridiculous. If the school so desires, it may assign an additional teacher to the E class. It says so in your employment contract. Suddenly Karasume whps around and threw an anti-sensei knife at 𝐬𝐮𝐴. But he catches it between his two tentacles using a napkin. Karasume, my duty is to provide on-site assassination monitoring all in the name of killing you. 𝐬𝐮𝐴 then lowers the knife on the napkin and removes the green hat part of his tea ceremony clothes. 𝐬𝐮𝐴, please, use the name the students gave me. Places his normal school hat on his head. Call me 𝐬𝐮𝐴. The school bells rings meaning next PRD. We see Izuku now walking with Nagisa and Sugino after his talk with Rinka, Yada and Kurahashi. Sugino, a quiz in 6th PRD. Nagisa, wish we could have gone home after gym. Izuku, I wish gym would have lasted longer. Eri, I wish I could play with Mr. Octopus more. All of a sudden Nagisa looks up and stops walking. We stop too and look to where he was looking at. Hey, Nagisa-kun. It was a pale skin, short red hair, and pale sharp-eyed male. He was a black blazer which was different to the standard school uniform. He was also holding a juice box in his hands as his hair blew through the wind. Smiles slyly. It's been a while. Nagisa, 𝐻𝐮𝐴 back. Izuku thought, Karma. I guess we have a new classmate who sounds more like an innocent version of Kaken. Izuku's POV. I was looking at the person up the stairs. It was a red-haired student who I now know the name is Karma. Karma. I haven't heard that name in a long time ago. He awfully sounds like a calmer more version than Kaken. I guess he might be a new transferee student. Karma runs down the steps of the stairs and past us. Karma, so that's the infamous 𝐬𝐮𝐴. He walks past the class towards 𝐬𝐮𝐴 looking innocently. But I can tell something is behind it. Karma, whoa, he really does look like an octopus. Karma stops and looks at 𝐬𝐮𝐴, while 𝐬𝐮𝐴 looks at him curiously. All of us are looking at him too with curious looks. 𝐬𝐮𝐴 raises a tentacle. Karma accompanies it. I'd heard your suspension was up today. Faces changes to purple with an X on it, but you shouldn't be tardy on your first day back. Izuku, Karma accompane. Notices other hand in his pocket, so that's what he's going for, let me guess. Karma chuckles. It's hard to get back into the swing of things. Held out his hand and feel free to call me by my first name. Nice to meet you, teach. 𝐬𝐮𝐴, likewise. Let's make this a fun year. As 𝐬𝐮𝐴 shakes Karma back. The moment they touch, 𝐬𝐮𝐴's tentacles popped with wet goo coming out. 𝐬𝐮𝐴, shocked whoa. Karma then tosses his juice box into the air and unsheathed a knife from his sleeve. He attempted to slash 𝐬𝐮𝐴 with it, but he dodged to the left. Izuku slightly smiles, so it was the old hidden blade in the hand trick. 𝐬𝐮𝐴 must have fell for it because Karma looked somewhat innocent at first. Karma, well, you really are fast. He chuckles and looks at his hands, which reveal to have cut up and glued pieces of anti-sensei knives. Karma. And those knives really do work. I sliced one up really fine and stuck the pieces on. But to be caught by such a simple move, and to jump back all the way, what are you, a scaredy cat? Izuku thought, so he's the second one, huh? The second one to hurt 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶. Or maybe the first one without powers. Karma then walks toward 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶 with his hands inside his pocket. Karma, I heard they call you 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶 because you're unkillable. He stands in front of 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶 looking directly at him. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶 moves back to avoid getting stabbed suddenly while Karma tilted his head closer to him challengingly. Karma, but what's this? Are you a pushover after all? 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶's face became angry red color with veins spasming out of it. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 come close to the three of us while looking at what was happening. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, Nagisa, what kind of person is this Karma? Izuku, yeah, I'm curious as well. Nagisa, well, we were in the same class our first and second years, but then his continued violent behavior earned him an expulsion, and those students end up here in the E class too. Sheesh, and here I thought he was innocent like he looked before. He may be worse or as worse as the bullies back in my world. Well, I mean, even the sweetest looking people are the most dangerous ones. Nagisa, but here he might be a star student like Izuku. Izuku, what do you mean? Nagisa, with Izuku he's got us beat in combat and physical strength. But when it comes to deadly weapons and foul play, Karma's got us all beat. Karma then plays with the anti-sensei knife in his hands and hides it back in his pocket. He walks away, his hands in his pockets and his hair covering his eyes. Time skip, we were back in the classroom taking the quiz while 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶 was looking depressed while punching the wall. Eri was sleeping inside the teacher's office being watched by 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I just finished the quiz because it was a bit too easy and I just looked at 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶. I think his encounter with Karma did something to him. I think the class is getting distracted because of it. Mimura, what's 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶 been doing all this time? Yada, like, punching the wall. Isegai, yeah, Karma's smack-talking must have made him mad. Maihara, but his tentacles are too soft to damage the walls. Izuku, sighs, another weakness to my notebook, weakness number 4. His punches are soft. Okano, ugh, enough. Everyone looks at her, quit with the squish squish. We're trying to take a quiz here. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, pales p, pardon me. I sigh and continue to just write stuff in my notebook. Terasaka, hey, Karma, are you sure about this? That monster is said. Yoshida, this is all on you, man. Muramatsu, sure you're not better off holding up at home. Karma, looks at Terasaka, you'd be sad too, Terasaka, if someone started to kill you. Not like when a certain someone screwed up and wet himself. Terasaka, tick mark, I did not wet myself. Slams fist on his desk, you cruisin' for a bruisin', pal. Karma's like Monoma with a calmer voice of Kakin. I think I should keep Eri away from him at this age. I don't want her to learn something like that at a very young age. Luckily she's with Karasume-sensei. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, tick mark, you there. No loud noises during a test. Izuku thought, I think he should have told that to his tentacles. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, why, that could even be considered cheating. Karma, sorry, 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶. I've already finished, so I'll just sit here quietly and eat my gelato. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, not during class, you won't. All of a sudden he freezes in place looking at Karma. Let me guess, 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, shocked if that's the gelato I brought back from Italy yesterday. Class 3, it's yours. Izuku, sighs, called it was just like when Monoma took Kakin's spicy food when he wasn't looking. Notices something on the floor, are you serious? If he falls for this again. Karma, oh sorry. It was just chilling in the staff room. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, sorry, won't cut it. I took pains to fly through the coldest stratosphere to keep that from melting too. Karma, tilts his head, so what are you gonna do about it? Licks the gelato, hit me. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, becomes angrily red, I will not. I'll just have what's left. Walks toward Karma, come now, hand it, oh Izuku, yawns, and there he goes and falls into another trap. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶 looks down and sees that he stepped on a bunch of anti-sensei bullets on the floor. 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, anti-me BBs. Then Karma aims a gun and attempted to shoot at 𝐻𝐻𝐶𝐶, but he dodges all his shots. Karma laughs, gotcha again. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 lifts up his tentacle and sees goo falling out of it. 𝐻𝐼𝐴 just walks forward while pointing the gun at 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Every one of us just watched the scene unfold. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, I'll just keep using the same old tricks, even if it interferes with class. He stops in front of 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 with the gun directly aimed on his thigh. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, if you don't like it, kill me or anyone else here. But the second you do, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 flinches when he suddenly shoved the gelato into 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's robe and continues to spin it in both directions. Okay, now that's just rude karma. No one'll see you as a teacher anymore. He then lets go of the gelato as it falls onto the floor, hitting one of 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's tentacles. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, you'll just be a murderous monster. Okay, even if 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's our target, he's still our teacher. This is just going too far. Okay, 𝐻𝐼𝐴, you are now in the number one of the people in this class I need to keep Eri away from. Now I regret saying that you look more like an innocent version of 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨. He then looks at 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 with a deranged look. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, you, the teacher, will be killed by me. Tosses his quiz to 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐴 and walks past him. Here's my quiz. Probably got, all right. 𝐻𝐼𝐴 walks to the classroom door and opens it. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, see ya teach. Let's play some more tomorrow. He then walks out and closes the door while 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐴 cleans himself up looking sadly. Izuku writes in his notebook, 𝐻𝐼𝐴 sure is quick-witted and maybe highly intelligent too. He knew there was a line that 𝐀𝐮𝐿𝐴 can't cross without losing his teaching status. He's got the smarts to see the heart of the matter and the skill to handle just about anything. Time skip classes were done and we were all heading home. I dropped Eri off back to the house as quick as possible with OFA, to let her rest and wait at the house while I buy some groceries. So I walked to the nearest grocery I could find and past the subway station, and I see Nagisa and 𝐂𝐮𝐽𝐻. Izuku, hey Nagisa. 𝐂𝐮𝐽𝐻. Izuku, where you off to? Izuku, I just dropped Eri back at the house. I just need to get some food at the grocery store for the both of us. Especially her, I guess. We sorta ran out of apples. 𝐂𝐮𝐽𝐻, well then take care, Izuku. See ya, Nagisa. Izuku, see ya 𝐂𝐮𝐽𝐻. Nagisa, yep. See ya tomorrow. We both wave goodbye to 𝐂𝐮𝐽𝐻, who then walks off. But all of a sudden I hear two voices behind us. One, hey look, it's Nagisa. Right at home down in the E class. 2, barf. He'll never make it back to our class like that. I look at Nagisa and see him stare at ground, trying to ignore the both of them. Even these guys are getting on my nerves. Izuku, hey, leave him alone. Wanto. This guy looks new, must be a transfer student. 2, I pity him being in a class full of lamers. 1, plus, 𝐒𝐻𝐵AN's back in E class now that his suspension's over. 2, that's the pits. I would seriously rather die than wind up there. 1, this transfer student might even be as useless like them. Izuku thought useless, huh? Revenge. Revenge. Make them feel fear. I finally had enough and used 3% of OFA to dash and punch the behind them. It left a punched mark on it and cracked. Izuku, useless, huh? You two really have a bad habit of opening your mouth when you shouldn't. I could see them both shaking in fear as I look at them with sharpened eyes. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 𝐻𝐼𝐴 joins in and smashes a green bottle above their heads, making them both flinch and scream. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, really? You'd rather die? Points the sharp edges of the bottle to them like now. 1, shaking in fear, 𝐒𝐻𝐵AN. The two of them ran away terrified while I remove my fist from the wall. 𝐻𝐼𝐴 chuckles like I'd actually do it. Izuku, I really thought you would. Those guys were getting on my nerves. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, you should have let me do it on my own. With such great toys to play with, who wants another suspension? Izuku, you're 𝐻𝐼𝐴. Extends hand. My name's Izuku Midoriya, nice to meet you. 𝐻𝐼𝐴 shakes back likewise. So you're the transfer student from another world they told me about. I could see it now based on the punch mark you've left on the wall along with your speed. Feel free to call me by my first name, and I do hope we have a blast this year. Izuku, same can be said to you. Nagisa, 𝐻𝐼𝐴. So listen, Nagisa-kun, and Izuku, size. Izuku's fine. Just call me that. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, right? So listen, Nagisa-kun and Izuku, there's something I wanted to ask you both. The three of us continued to walk through the subway. Karma, I understand you both know a few things about 𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐽. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, well, kind of. Izuku, yeah, I guess. Karma, does he get mad when you call him an octopus? 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, an octopus. Izuku, on the contrary, I think. His self-portrait in an octopus 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, yeah, and he picks the octopus character in games. Izuku, and do you remember the time he was digging around in the sandbox and he said, octopus trap? 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽. So if he's making jokes like that, I'd say the octopus thing is kind of his trademark. Karma, that gives me a little idea. Puts a hand on his chin. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, what are you up to now, Karma? Karma, I'm happy is all. Turns to face us. I was wondering what I'd do if he were just some monster, but turns out he's an actual teacher. The train comes past behind him and the fact that he looks more disturbing than usual. Karma, and I get to kill an actual teacher. Laughs. I mean, since the last one died on me. Me and 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽 just stared at him worriedly. But the words he said and the look in his eyes, so he's suffered the betrayal of a teacher too, huh? I'll always have your back, Midoriya. I'll support you along the way. Besides, you might just be a late bloomer. Then after a few months. Why would I support someone as weak as you? You're lower than dirt. You're an ant. I'll make sure to drag your grades down to the ground with you. Izuku, so much for having my back after the event. It left my heart raging with flames. Eventually I was able to extinguish it because of a certain someone, but All Might. From here on out I will devote myself to raising you. Let's keep working hard together, young Midoriya. But just after one video, All Might, I should have never chosen someone like you to become my successor. You should have stayed quirkless, you traitor. Izuku, and you said you'll devote yourself. You didn't even let me explain or defend myself. My supposed mentors, teachers let me down. They make promises they couldn't keep. Promises are worse than lies. Because you make others hope for something you're not sure you can give. It was like what they always say, never make promises you don't intend to keep. The fire I extinguished before reignited. The flames of what I controlled grew brighter than before. The flames that were extinguished reignited with the embers of the past and present because of what they did. My flare is burning brighter and hotter than before. Revenge. Make them all suffer. Show them what true pain feels like. Make them feel what you felt. But I'll try everything in my power to control this flare. Because I don't want those I care about to get hurt. But I'll hurt those who dare hurt them. Karma Academy even more alike than what I thought. Time skip. We were all in class while Eri was in the staff room with Karasuma. I told him the reason why and he allowed it. We were sitting and remaining silent while waiting for 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽. And in front of the classroom on 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽's desk, 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, good morning. Notices that they remain silent. What's wrong? See, there was a dead octopus with a knife stabbed into its head. And we all know who would do such a thing. Karma. Whoops. My bad. I mistook it for you and killed it instead. Bring it here, I'll dispose of it. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, sighs. All right. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽 walks toward Karma holding the dead octopus in his tentacle. Unknown to him, Karma had a knife behind his back waiting for him. Izuku, thought, Karma thinks he could keep doing the same tricks over and over. I know he doesn't want to kill him physically, but he wants to go for his soul first. But just like the old saying goes, fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, you better watch out for yourself. If 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽 can't kill him physically, then he could kill him with. All of a sudden the tips of 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽's tentacles turned into high-powered drills, surprising Karma and most of the class. He then suddenly disappeared and reappeared in a flash. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, allow me to show you, Karma, the might of these drill tentacles and the firepower of this missile I filched from the self-defense force. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽 was holding up a missile with the engine lit up, the dead octopus from before and various cooking ingredients, which looks like ingredients for takoyaki. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, I'm not about to let my assassin get away scot-free. He then started to cook the octopus and mix all the ingredients together very fast. The hot roll of takoyaki was shot into Karma's mouth, making cough out of his mouth. 𝐻𝐻𝐬𝐽, I could tell by your pallor that you hadn't eaten breakfast. I whipped up a batch of takoyaki at Mach speed. Picks one up using his drill like tentacles. They'll put you well on your way to being nice and healthy. Tries to feed him open wide. Karma just covered his mouth and just stared at 𝐻𝐻𝐿. Izuku thought, if you can't kill someone physically, kill them with kindness. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, Karma-kun, what I do is 10 things, take care of them. Things like assassins' rusty blades. Smiles menacingly, so keep killing me in earnest all day today. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 then opens his mouth and reveals more hot and steaming takoyaki inside of it. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, every time you do, I'll take care of you. Karma narrows eyes. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 waves tentacles. By the end of the day, your body and mind will be polished to sparkling. Izuku sighs, looks like Karma's in for a bad time. 𝐻𝐻𝐿's now on high alert, meaning it'll be a lot harder to assassinate him. Time skip to first PRD. Math. It was first PRD in math and 𝐻𝐻𝐿 was teaching and writing math problems on the board. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, as you see, this number is left over, no matter what you do. If this indivisibility is getting you down, then I got the method for you. I was about to write and solve the problems, but I noticed Karma putting his hand inside his blazer. He looked at 𝐻𝐻𝐿 with cold eyes. I'm guessing he has a pistol inside of it. Izuku thought, it won't work, Karma, he's figured you out. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, I'll write it on the blackboard. Everyone try solving it together. Karma aimed his pistol to fire at 𝐻𝐻𝐿. But before he could pull the trigger, 𝐻𝐻𝐿 moved and grabbed the gun and went back to the same spot, showing Karma the gun. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, oh, Karma-kun, you're too slow between drawing and firing, I'm afraid. Karma. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, and since I had plenty of time, held up a bunch of nail art supplies. I gave you a little nail art. I look at Karma and see his nails decorated with cake and octopus designs. He had a tightened smile and I couldn't help but chuckle silently. Time skipped to 4th PRD. Home EC. It was time for 4th PRD and we were all wearing aprons and bandanas except for Karma. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 was walking to 𝐬𝐻 while I was just chopping and cooking my own soup with the leftovers I found next to her. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, well, how'd you two do, 𝐬𝐻-san? 𝐬𝐻, I dunno, it has this kind of sharp tang to it. Izuku, let me try it, tastes it with a spoon. Karma, comes over well, why don't you start over? Toss that batch out, slams hand on table to spill the stew, and Karma attempts to stab 𝐻𝐻𝐿, but it never hit him. He was a few meters away holding the pot of soup in his tentacles. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, you forgot your apron, Karma-kun. Karma looks down in shock and sees that he was wearing a frilly pink apron, with a matching pink hat on his head. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, don't worry about the soup. I seeked it all up in midair with a dropper. Now, Izuku-kun, what does this soup need? Izuku, gets sugar, maybe a little bit of sugar, puts sugar in the soup and mixes it there. Try it again. 𝐬𝐻, tastes it, it's much milder. Terasaka, chuckles Muramatsu, adorable. Karma tosses his hat down, blushing, looking slightly mad. Izuku sighs, it's no use, Karma. Time skip to 5th PRD. Japanese. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 was teaching Japanese while most of us were reading and just jotting down notes. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 was walking down past us back and forth while reciting. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, reciting, it was an ideal spot for the red frog, why didn't it cross there? Izuku, writing, 𝐻𝐻𝐿 may be strong but has a ton of weaknesses. I mean, even the strongest beings like Shigaraki have their flaws. 𝐻𝐻𝐿's reaction speed drops to human levels whenever he's flustered or agitated by something. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, reciting, even as I was thinking this. Izuku, writing, but no matter how good someone is at surprise attack like Karma was about raise his hands, but 𝐻𝐻𝐿 got near him with a tentacle placed on his forehead. It left him looking shocked while 𝐻𝐻𝐿 was grinning darkly. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, reciting the red frog, having failed again, was making its way back. Starts grooming Karma's hair. I was starting to get bored with it. Izuku, writing, with someone like 𝐻𝐻𝐿, who has superhuman reflexes and senses to combine with that, on high alert. 𝐻𝐻𝐿, still grooming Karma while reciting, picking some stones from the road, I began throwing them at the sandbar. Izuku, writing, this assassination process was like an impossibly tough video game, like trap adventure. No matter how many times you think you succeeded, there will always be something like a trap to come out of nowhere stopping you. I just continued to write while somewhat glancing at what 𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐴 was doing along with the others. Time skip. I was walking with 𝐻𝐬𝐴 to check on 𝐻𝐼𝐴 in the deeper parts of this mountain. We found him looking agitated and biting on his thumbnail while sitting on a large tree trunk on the edge of a hill. We both decided to get closer to him. 𝐻𝐬𝐴, 𝐻𝐼𝐴. We'll all do it together. Izuku, he's right. Once 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴 has his eye on someone like you, you can't kill him, no matter how many times or methods you try. 𝐻𝐬𝐴, he isn't like any other teachers. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, teachers, I could tell by his reaction that maybe something was up with him about teachers. So I was right, he did suffer betrayal from them. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, yeah, no, looks up I want to do it. Nothing ticked me off more than him dying in some random place. 𝐻𝐼𝐴-kun. The three of us looked behind us and see 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴 walking towards us. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴, I've certainly taken good care of you today, haven't I? A face has green stripes, you can still try to kill me, you know. Rubs his tentacles together menacingly, I'll polish you up even shinier. 𝐻𝐼𝐴 sighs and stands up just to make sure, looks at the three of us. You are a teacher, correct? Izuku and 𝐻𝐬𝐴. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴 nods yes. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, and you would, say, risk your life to protect your students. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴, of course. I'm a teacher after all. Izuku realizes, wait a second. Risk life to protect, notices 𝐻𝐼𝐴 slightly walking backwards. Oh no. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, don't do what I think you're gonna do. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, okay good. Points gun, then I can kill you. Leans back towards the cliff for sure. 𝐻𝐬𝐴. Izuku, 𝐻𝐼𝐴. 1 for all full cowling, 15%. Plus float. I used OFA to move towards the cliff and used float as I jumped off of the cliff. 𝐻𝐻𝐴 continually falling with a smile on his face. Izuku, I have to catch him. Black whip. Pinpoint focus. I shoot a tendril from my arm while focusing on 𝐻𝐼𝐴's chest to catch him. But as soon as the WE touched him, I soon see memories of 𝐻𝐼𝐴 flash before my eyes. It must be his life flashing before his eyes. I see him walking down a hallway with man that has short dark brown hair with thin-shaped eyes. It may be the teacher who betrayed him. Though you are somewhat combative, and you have your share of behavioral issues, places hand on 𝐻𝐼𝐴's shoulder. As long as you're in the right, I'll be by your side. Smiles and gives him a thumbs up. I then see him save a bullied student from an upperclassman who was being mistreated. Then now he was in front of a teacher who I presumed was the one who said he'll be by his side. I think his name was 𝐾𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. 𝐾𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, no, 𝐴𝐾𝐵ANE. No matter how you look at it, you're in the wrong. 𝐻𝐼𝐴 flinches. 𝐾𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 growls, have you lost your mind? Where do you get off, injuring the best student in your 𝐻𝐼𝐴? No, wait, Sensei 𝐾𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. You sided with the E-class and hurt someone who still had a bright future. If this affects his exams, it'll be on my head. Your grades are the only thing that's right about you. They're the reason I've always looked the other was. Voice gets darker, but once you start hurting my career, that's a different story. I put in for your transfer. Congratulations, 𝐴𝐾𝐵ANE. You'll be starting your 3rd year in the E-class. He didn't even give him time to explain himself. It was like with me back at UA. And besides, it was the teacher's fault. He allowed him to do whatever 𝐻𝐼𝐴 wants and never said it was wrong. He allowed 𝐻𝐼𝐴 to continue whatever he thought was right. He encouraged 𝐻𝐼𝐴 to act out and basically backfired on him, and he practically blames 𝐻𝐼𝐴 for everything and not even consider what he told him. All that he cared about was his job and not the promise he told him. He stabbed him in the back, like what if most of UA did to me, just because of one video. They didn't consider the amount of times I've risked my own life for them. I shake my head and look back at 𝐻𝐼𝐴, who was caught by my black whip. But with 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴 saved him using his tentacles forming a web. Izuku, phew. Luckily we both caught him in time. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴, 𝐻𝐼𝐴-kun. Splendid job on the premeditated assassination starring yourself. If I saved you at the speed of sound, your body wouldn't hold out. If I moved slowly I'd get hit. If Izuku-kun caught you with his WHP alone, your spine might have fractured. So I tried getting a little sticky. 𝐻𝐼𝐴 struggles DMN. What can't these tentacles do? 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴, you can't shoot now. Nurafufufo, and furthermore letting you die is not an option. 𝐻𝐼𝐴, shocked. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴, believe in that for your next flying leap. Karma looks wide eyes, then he smiles and relaxes. Izuku smiles, it's no use. Not even Karma can kill him no matter what he can do. But his teaching side will always remain the same. E-class is lucky to have a teacher like you, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Sooner enough both me and 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 helped him up back the cliff and land behind Nagisa. Nagisa, for being so reckless, Karma-kun, you sure were calm. Karma, no biggie. As far as I can figure it, that would have been my best chance at killing him. Izuku sighs, there are more ideas than that, Karma, but with less risking your life part. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, oh, out of ideas already. Grins and shows a bunch of grooming and hygiene tools. I have plenty of grooming tools to use in retaliation. You're kind of a pushover yourself, aren't you? I look at Karma. At first he looks narrowed his eyes, but he stands up and smiles. I guess he's slightly warming up. Karma, oh, I'll kill you, pretends to slit his throat with his thumb, maybe even tomorrow. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, face changes to orange with a circle on it, a healthy, refreshing bloodlust. Looks like you don't need any more TLC. Both me and Nagisa sighed and smiled in relief. Karma tosses a purse in the air, let's head on back. Nagisa-kun, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. We can eat on the way, walks past 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, confused realizes, hey, that's my purse. Izuku chuckles, but I guess that some of his attitude won't change. Karma turns around and smirks, don't leave it in the staff room unattended. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, give it back. Karma smiles brightly and throws back 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's wallet, take it. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 opens and looks in it but shook his purse, this is empty. Karma turns around, there wasn't much in there, shrugs, call it a donation. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 screams in frustration and completely lost it. Both me and Nagisa just look at them with a smile and a slight chuckle. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, going insane, you hypocritical delinquent. Izuku smiles. Normally assassins go in for the kill and wind up dirty with scrapes or BLD. But all of us wind up sparkling in our target's tentacles instead. That's our assassination classroom. I wonder how we'll try to kill him tomorrow. Serious expression, and when will Shigaraki pull off his next move? And what will it be? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, do you hear me? I decided to follow them back and catch up to Karma. Izuku, I knew what it was like. Karma, like to what? Izuku, to feel the feeling of being stabbed behind the back. By the person you trusted the most. Karma, shocked 𝐻𝗧𝗟𝗏. Izuku, I noticed through the look in your eyes and the way you acted against 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. You were backstabbed by your teacher, I'm guessing. It's alright, you weren't the only person in class to feel like that. Looks ahead, I better head back and check on Eri, see if Karma uses OFA. Karma's POV, I look at Izuku as he speeds away with inhuman speed away from us. The words he said, did he really knew how I felt? He just figured out what happened to me just by looking at what I was doing and the look in my eyes. Does he really know though? The look in his says he's telling the truth, and the way he was able to tell it from my expressions, which means he felt it. I only heard he was from another world where heroes exist, but to him to face something what I felt is impossible, right? What had happened to you, Izuku-kun? What are you hiding from all of us? But I won't barge into someone's privacy. It might be a personal problem I shouldn't barge into. Time skip to Izuku and Eri's house. Izuku's POV, it was already late at night after a long day at school. Especially the amount of assassination attempts by Karma. He may look or act insanely sometimes, but deep inside I think he's a caring person. But that doesn't mean that I'll allow Eri to hang out with him without me watching. I don't want Eri to learn anything that could ruin her innocence. But still I think me and him can be good friends along with the others, but it'll take time. Me and Eri were back at our house. We just finished eating and are in our pajamas. I was helping Eri to sleep by reading her a story in our room. She was wearing her favorite unicorn onesie I bought a while after we got here on this world. I was just finishing up telling her a story about an adventure of a chief's daughter who answers the ocean's call along with a demigod to fix a curse the demigod caused. Izuku, reading, she returns home where she reunites with her parents. She takes up her role as chief and leads her people as they resume voyaging around the oceans. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Eri, that was a very nice story, Papa. But what happened to Mr. Crab? Izuku, I actually don't know, Eri. Now how about you get some sleep now? I still need to brush my teeth. Eri, Papa, can you sing me the song you used to sing to me when I cried puppy dog eyes please? I've been getting a nightmare about Izuku. Sighs overhaul smiles. How can I ever say no to you? Let me just get my guitar. I stood up and picked the guitar I placed on the side of the room. I bought this since my other guitar is back at the other world. I went back to Eri and tuned the guitar a bit. Izuku, ready snowball. Eri nods excitingly. Izuku, here goes. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Papa's going to sing you a lullaby. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's going to buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird won't sing, Papa's going to buy you a golden ring. Eri just looks at me with a smile while hugging her panda bear doll I got for her. If that gold ring turns to brass, Papa's going to buy you a looking glass. If that glass begins to crack, Papa's going to buy you a jumping jack. If that jumping jack is broke, Papa's going to buy you a velvet cloak. Eri's eyes starts to get heavier as she yawns and rubs her eyes. If that velvet cloth is coarse, Papa's going to buy you a rocking horse. If that rocking horse won't rock, Papa's going to buy you a cuckoo clock. If that cuckoo clock won't tick, Papa's going to buy you a walking stick. If that walking stick falls down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town. I finished the song and see Eri on the bed sleeping soundly. So I decided to stand up to brush my teeth until I hear her mutter. Eri, mutter I love you, Papa. I smile and kiss her head, which made her smile and her horn glows slightly. Izuku, good night, my precious little snowball. Papa loves you too. I placed the guitar back on the corner and went to the bathroom to brush my teeth. But I closed my eyes and opened them and found myself inside where the users are. Yoichi, how are you? Ninth. Izuku, I've been actually good. This world is pretty great to be in. Especially since I knew what it was like to be quirkless before. Nana, that's actually good. Are you making some friends? Izuku, I've been making some and trying to make some lately. I've been trying to cope with the whole situation that happened back at the other world. Eri's been making some friends with the girls lately though. I'm happy about it. Nana, at least you two are adjusting well. Izuku, but I want to ask something about what happened earlier. Yoichi, is it about how were you able to read young Karma's thoughts? Izuku nods. Yoichi, it can happen if it's the will of one of us users to see the mind of someone. Second user, I was the one who allowed it. I wanted to see if what you assumed was true. So I forced myself into his mind and checked if it was true. Izuku, I see. Yoichi, us users can also invite people here in this room and expand it to tell them stuff or watch memories of certain individuals related to OFA. 𝐻𝐿𝐼, but enough of that. Have you found any leads on where Shigaraki is? Izuku, nothing. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐿𝐼's been silent ever since the Nomu attack when we arrived here. Daigoro, so I'm guessing the punk's hiding somewhere in this world. He's being all sneaky and out of plain sight. And, because if the public notices his presence or power, they'll do everything to try and halt his process of getting stronger. Third user, but in that process they'll risk killing themselves over a being that has multiple powers. 𝐻𝐿𝐼, or maybe he'll use others as his pawns for him while he's busy getting stronger. Nana, even if 𝗀𝐿𝐼 told us that it'll take him longer to get stronger, he may find a way to make the process faster. Izuku, so I have to find him and beat him as soon as possible, before he causes a huge amounts of damage. And I also have to prioritize on killing 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 first while finding leads to Shigaraki without anyone noticing. Nana, shouldn't you ask for help from the class or maybe Karasuma to help you? Izuku, it'll be hard, Nana. They already have their hands full with 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and school that maybe adding the fact that Shigaraki is in this world will double it. I have to deal with Shigaraki as soon as possible even if it means I have to do it myself. Yoichi, we hope you do 9th because like 𝐀𝐿𝐼 said, the fate of this world rests in your hands. Izuku, I'll do my best. I opened my eyes again and found myself in the same position as I was brushing my teeth. I continued to brush my teeth but I was interrupted by a distorted voice. Look at you, look so pathetic. I look everywhere around me to see where it came from. I heard the voice again but it was more clearer. Ah, come on. Don't tell me you already forgot about me. I sigh and open my eyes knowing who it was. Izuku, you can show yourself. Yami, I know it's you. I closed my eyes and opened them again to look at the mirror to check my reflection. My reflection changed to someone who looks like me, but with black hair, red eyes, had hair covering his right eye and had a red kanji on his right cheek of the word Yami. The kanji is like this but red Yami. Why hello there Izuku, size hi Yami. Aren't you happy to see me? It's been years you know Izuku, what do you want, Yami? I know you want something from me. Yami, I'm just checking on you. I know you've been betrayed by those so-called friends and allies of yours back at UA. Izuku, don't remind me of the past. Is that all you have to tell me? If it is, then leave me alone. Just because you're the one who was born with a quirk, doesn't mean you can barge into my life. Yami. Correction, 2 quirks and another correction. Our life, you and I are the same, you both share the same body. Izuku, the difference is you weren't born biologically. You were just born from my negative emotions. Yami, says the one who's been betrayed and cheated on a lot of times. Izuku, it's in the past, you don't have to remind me of it. Yami, and yet the past will continue to haunt you. You thought it was all gone when you entered UA. Turns out the same fate happened, but this time you were supposed to be behind bars instead of just the old and normal depression. Izuku, just shut you pan, get away from my life. Yami, oh how can I go away? I'll always be part of you. You still aren't letting go of the past. They always did say without the past there will be no future. You're still the same useless Deku back in the old days, once alone, always will be. Izuku, shut up. I know this time, it'll be different. Yami, it's because they don't know the real reason you're here. They don't know everything you've done in the past. Even most of the others back at UA didn't know. They don't know about me. They don't know what happened to you before you went back to Aldra at 3rd year or what happened before you arrived at this world. And once they do, it will all be the same. They'll leave you like the rest and want nothing to do with you. You smile and act like your normal self just to mask your pain, and it's already leaking out. You hide your demons to protect your other, but those cages can't keep them locked in forever. Izuku, Yami, and our flare is brighter and stronger than it once was. Once it grows unstable because of your emotions, you know what'll happen, right? Izuku, nods Yami, so if you don't want to hurt the people you say you love, you better find a way to vent it without hurting them. I may have a suggestion. Izuku, sighs, what do you have in mind? Yami, go out and beat up people. Izuku, not happening. A hero doesn't hurt those without a reason. Yami, you didn't let me finish. I meant villains or criminals. I mean this world still has criminals and crime bosses around. Both of us in one body beating up those baddies without our powers, just like the old days with those bullies. And maybe we could find more leads about Shigaraki and find those 𝐀𝐮𝐵𝐻 he might be sending around the alleyways. It's a win-win situation. We beat up villains to vent out our flare, and we could still be heroes and try to find and beat out Shigaraki for revenge. Revenge just like you always wanted to do to those in the past. Izuku, sighs, I hate it when you're right, but I guess I have no choice. If it means finding Shigaraki and not hurting those I care about. Yami, great, we should start now. Let's go to your bag for a sec. I sighed knowing I had no choice and went back to our room. I went to the bag I had when we got here. Yami, now open up the panel inside the bag on the bottom of it. I did what told me and found a hidden compartment inside my bag. Inside it had a few weapons like brass knuckles I used back in the days, a set of combat knives, a wakizashi, a karambit, a voice changer like Shinso's, a green hoodie I used to wear back in the old days, and finally red gloves. Izuku, wait, so that's why my bag only had a limited amount of space even if it was so big. Yami, sorry, I just placed it there just in case, if you want to come back or maybe for personal defense. Izuku, sighs, let's do this. I wore all the equipment in the bag. I wore blue jeans, brown boots, the green hoodie, the red gloves with the brass knuckles inside, a knife container and the voice changer mask. Imagine him wearing this combined with the mask. I also placed the wakizashi along with its sheath behind me and the karambit on the side of my waist. Izuku, I should change my hairstyle and eyes. Yami, I got you covered, give me a sec. I looked at the mirror again and saw myself and my appearance slightly change. From my normal dark green fluffy hair to black hair with some in between my eyes. And my normal green eyes to the red ones that had been appearing since the betrayal. The kanji of Yami was also written on the right side of my cheek. Imagine this with the Yami kanji. Izuku, so my eyes were changing, it was all you. Yami, it's our bloodlust. It's the result of your repressed negative emotions and our flair getting stronger. The bloodlust is permanently a part of us until we die. I can trigger it, or you can activate it when you feel extreme anger. Izuku, I see Yami, let's goth night still fresh. Meaning scums are roaming in the streets and Shigaraki might come out. Izuku, right, but I need to check on something first. I walked back to the bedroom and see Eri sleeping soundly hugging her teddy bear with a sweet smile. Yami, so this is the snowball I keep hearing in the back of your mind. She is pretty cute, I got to admit that. I would do anything to protect her. Izuku, she's the only person I got left here just in case I lose the trust of the others. I'm afraid to lose her along with the others back in the class. I'll do anything to protect them, Yami, even if it means doing the wrong thing and doing it for the sake of others. Izuku, yeah, removes mask. A hero has to put others first before himself even if it's wrong. I'm sorry, Snowball, but I have to do this on my own. Kisses her forehead to protect you and the others. Places mask back from Shigaraki and possible myself. Puts hood over his head. I walked outside sneakily through the window without anybody in the streets noticing. I ran and jumped on multiple rooftops of houses on the way to the city. I finally reached the top of a building and looked at the city. Izuku, it's just like back in our world, Yami, except you're the only superhero in here. Izuku, yeah. Help. I looked alarmed and saw a bunch of bandits beating up a bunch of kids, taking their money and stuff in an alleyway. Yami, it's showtime. Karma. Izuku, I haven't heard that nickname in a long time. Back in the day I was nicknamed Karma for a reason. I jumped off the building and looked at the thugs in the alleyway. Because those who hurt others like me for no reason. Izuku, one for all. Full cowling 35%. I jumped from side to side the walls of the alleyway readying a punch. Have karma waiting for them at their doorsteps. I punched one of the thugs off of the victims while the others looks at me. Thug 2, what's the big-eyed? And you, Shigaraki? I look at the thugs with bloodlust in my eyes as they shake in their shoes. Soon enough would have an appointment with karma. No one's POV. It was another new day in the assassination classroom for all of the students of class 3. They were all in the classroom waiting for 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 to arrive and start. All of them are energized waiting for what will happen. Izuku yawns. Mostly everyone. Izuku can be seen drinking his 5th cup of coffee in class. He looks to be still very sleepy compared to most of the class. The class are staring at him while he drinks his 6th cup. Nagisa, Izuku Kunari, you alright? Izuku, yo, I. Drinks another cup of coffee. Keano, you've had like 6 cups of coffee in a row. Did you get any sleep last night? Izuku, sorry, something came up. I had to do a bunch of stuff late at night. I went on a rampage last night. How many thugs and drag dealers did I even beat up? Like nearly 150 or something. I don't even remember much. I finished at like 3 hours before classes start. Still, haven't found any leads on Shigaraki yet that night. It was basically a wild goose chase. I tried to find things to narrow down where he is. But I found nothing, not even thugs who work for him or nomus going on a rampage. Just basically a bunch of drag dealers, RPSTS, some crime bosses with their thugs, bullies, and a few murder attempts. When I came home I just changed out of my clothes and slept for 2 hours. Keano, how about you sleep while 𝐀𝐮𝐴 isn't here yet? I'll wake you up when he comes in. Izuku smiles. Thanks, Keano. Keano, blushing and no problem. What's happening with me? Why am I blushing? Minute. Pull yourself together. Izuku's POV. I asked Keano why she was so red, but she said it was nothing while covering her face. So I just shrugged it and laid on my head on my desk as I fell asleep. I opened my eyes and found myself inside the same place with the users again, and they looked at me with concern. Daigoro, are you alright, kid? You look messed up. Izuku, I'm fine, just a bit sleepy. Second user, you literally spent all night fighting thugs and criminals without taking a break. Izuku, sorry, I needed to weaken my flair a bit. Nana, what's this flair anyway? Izuku, it's a bit hard to explain and personal. Nana, how about the black-haired kid that looks like you in your head? Izuku sighs. He's Yamakumo Akatani, my counterpart. Nana, we won't ask you questions or let you talk about it to us. But will you at least allow us a glimpse of your memories? We promise nothing will make us look at you differently. Izuku sighs. I guess I don't have a choice, do I? Yoichi, we promise ninth. Nothing will change our views on you. Izuku, I guess I let them access through my memories along with my thoughts about my past. After a few seconds they look at me with sympathetic looks. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, we're sorry you had to go through all that in the past. 9th, why didn't you tell us this before? Izuku, because I was afraid if I tell others they might get the wrong idea and start leaving me. I don't want to lose the people I already have in my life. I'm afraid of the people I love and care about leaving me. I don't want to tell anybody because at some point they might betray me. I already felt betrayal before in the past. I'm not hoping to lose everyone I care about. And besides, I already lied to them about the real reason on why I was sent to this world. If I tell them the truth now, they'll ignore me before I could even explain. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, but you'll be stuck dealing with the burden of your pain and flare alone. Izuku, if hiding the truth means nobody will get hurt, then so be it. I've dealt with physical and emotional pain for years. I don't even remember the last time I cried. The only people I have left here is all of you and Eri. My mom must be worried sick right now. She may think I'm dead. I know it may be selfish, but I don't want to let others to get hurt by myself or Shigaraki. I have to deal with this even if it means doing it on my own. 3rd user, I guess, but if you need help or company we're here along with Eri. Izuku nods. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, Izuku, wake up. 𝐶𝐻𝐿𝐻 here. Izuku, I guess I have to wake up. Nana, you know this place is always here when you need help. So Izuku, if you need anything you can always come to us. Izuku, thank you, I appreciate it. Disappears. No one's POV. It was a second after Izuku left. The users sigh and look at each other. Nana, do you think his answer could have been different if we told him something else? I'm not sure, Nana. Unlike us, he's only still a teenager. And yet, at a young age to deal with something like that and being able to hide it for years. He's persistent. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, and yet his persistence might kill him. Bottling up too much negative emotions like that without closure may result in bad things. Daigoro, he's right, the kid's slowly killing himself. Still though, I can't believe he had to suffer all of that because of something he couldn't control. 2nd user, society now in our world is too corrupt. I can't believe they allowed the kids to do that to him. The word hero has really lost its meaning. 3rd user, you know what they always say, that life is unfair. But we should also be wary of his counterpart. Yamikumo Akutani, the counterpart with 2 quirks. Born from his negative emotions. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, 9th's flare can also be a big problem. A flame of negativity that was extinguished once, now burns again but much brighter. Nana, I don't like the fact that he has to continuously hurt others just to constantly maintain his flare. Or also the fact that he has to deal with it alone. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, 9th has to find closure somehow. If he was able to extinguish it before, maybe he could do it again. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, does not the phrase burns brighter not hit the bell? If he tries the same method again, it won't work. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, sighs, you're right, and the fact that Shigaraki is still out there and 9th's mental condition is unstable. And even if he fights him now with unstable mentality, his chance of losing is high. Because if he doesn't find closure soon, all it will take is for Shigaraki to use his unstable mentality to his advantage. Or maybe even cause him to go on a rampage like in his memories. Daigoro, I hope the kid finds some closure in this world. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, because if he doesn't, he'll just destroy himself physically and mentally before the fight against Shigaraki. Nana, and maybe even find a new love. 2nd user, it might be impossible. Nana. 3rd user, he's right, he doesn't know the feeling of true romantic love. Because of how many times he's been cheated on and used by girls. And that Uraraka girl just sealed the deal with it. He's now forgotten what it's like to romantically love someone or be romantically in love. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻, sighs, for now let's just hope the best for 9th. Back to Izuku's POV. I woke up after a little talk with the other users. I woke up to 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 poking my cheeks. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, you awake? Izuku yawns. Yeah, thanks 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. So is 𝐀𝐮∫ here? 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, yeah, he just arrived. And he was carrying someone. Izuku, I wonder who could it be? I think you should head back to your seat. Pats her head. Thanks again 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. 𝐀𝐮, blushing. Why, anytime. Izuku, are you alright? Your head's a bit hot. Do you have a fever or something? 𝐀𝐮, blushing. Fine, composes up and smiles. Thanks for being concerned though. Izuku scratches back of his neck and smiles anytime she heads back to the seat with her cheeks slightly red. I look around me and see 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and 𝐀𝐮𝐿 looking at me. Izuku. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and 𝐀𝐮𝐿. Nothing sits properly. Izuku. Oh, I could have sworn I heard both of them say something else. Izuku's POV 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 just arrived and started classes a few minutes ago. He's standing in front of the board wearing his human disguise, I guess. Karasuma-sensei was also standing in front with his arms crossed. But beside 𝐻𝐻𝐿 was the person that Keanu told me about. She was tall and appealing, fair-skinned young woman with wavy hip-length light blonde hair that is split on either side, large light blue eyes and a very essential body. Along with it is an ample bust with a curvy physique that could rival Yaoyorozu's. She was clinging to 𝐻𝐻𝐿, smiling pleasantly. Luckily Eri's back in the staff room playing baby games on the phone. Karasuma, now, allow me to introduce your brand new temporary foreign language teacher. 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 writes, "Nice to meet you all." Izuku writes, "So I guess she's our new teacher, huh? In terms of bust size and beauty she could rival Yaoyorozu or even Midnight or maybe even best them. And she's our foreign language teacher. I knew that studying English back in the days would be worth it. I just hope her teaching won't be like present Mike. But I still have one question. Why is she all over him? Irina, who'd have thought you were a teacher here?" 𝐻𝐻𝐿 removes mask and wig. "That's a wig." Irina, "Oh, I don't mind." All of us just stared and sweat dropped at their interaction. Karasuma looks at 𝐻𝐻𝐿. "This school intends to give you authentic experience in foreign languages. I trust there are no complaints about her taking over half your English lessons." 𝐻𝐻𝐿, "If we must Keanu, we've got us one heck of a teacher. Not only that, she seems to really have a thing for 𝐻𝐻𝐿." Izuku writes, "Has a thing for 𝐻𝐻𝐿. The one we're trying to assassinate realizes something. I'm an idiot. How could I be this dumb to realize it just now?" Nagisa nods. Takes out notebook. "I might get some assassination hints out of this." Izuku writes, "The octopoid 𝐻𝐻𝐿 seems perplexed, having a busty human woman hanging all over him. Having a protective coloring for disguise and emotions. If I get the right color reaction, I should be able to write another weakness." 𝐻𝐻𝐿 narrows his eyes on Mrs. Irina's cleavage with a large smile. Then after a few seconds 𝐻𝐻𝐿 grins with a glowing pink face. Nuruahara whispers he's just plain smitten. Nagisa whispers there's no mistaking that face. Guess he goes for humans too. Izuku writes, "And that's the reaction I was waiting." Weakness number 5. Bub, especially big ones, reminds me just like Mineta and Kaminari. He's definitely a pervert judging by his look. Irina blushes and sighs softly. "The more I look at you, the more I like what I see." Stares at 𝐻𝐻𝐿. "Your beady eyes, like 2 diarrhea pills." 𝐻𝐻𝐿 wriggles tentacles. Irina, "Your undefined joints." Rests head on his chest. Me and the others just looked shocked at what was happening. Yami, what in the world am I hearing and watching? Izuku, I have no idea anymore. I'm lucky Eri's playing games in my phone at the staff's room. Yami, I wish I was with her. Watching this is making me sick. I'll be at the back of your head for a while. Izuku, yeah, sure. Whatever you want. Irina, why you're positively captivating. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 chuckles embarrassingly. How embarrassing. Izuku says he's falling for a trap. She's tricking him obviously. Not every female finds those tentacles attractive, I mean depending on their perspective. But whoever she is, she might be an assassin going for the prize money. Any teacher coming to this class nowadays with the most wanted creature is bound to be after the prize money. From what she's doing, she's an assassin that can bewitch anyone. An assassin with full-on mastery on infiltration and approach. She must be a pro at it. She's taking advantage of 𝐻𝐻𝐿's pervertedness and using it to act innocent to get closer to him. He may act dumb, but we're not. He's definitely being seduced by a hitwoman. Time skip. All of us were outside the field playing a game 𝐻𝐻𝐿 calls 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. It was basically a game with a mixture of soccer, badminton and assassination. We have to kick the ball at 𝐻𝐻𝐿 and then attempt to hit him with our knives or guns. I was doing it while using full cowling 25% to 45% to get a bit of a speed boost. 𝐻𝐻𝐿 𝐻𝐻𝐿 tosses the ball up high in the air. But Karma kicked it back to 𝐻𝐻𝐿. Karma, hup. Aims kill. Shoots 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 dodges it before it hits his head. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, hup. Fus. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 kicks the ball back to him as 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐶. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐴, hup. Jumps to strike kill. Unfortunately for her was able to avoid the attempted strike. Then it was my turn. 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫, hup. Fus. 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫 tosses the ball up high into the sky. Izuku, one for all full cowling 45% shoot style. I jump up high towards the ball then waited until it perfectly aimed downwards towards 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫. Izuku, hup. Smash. I kicked the ball to 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫 with a strong force making him slightly flinch when he caught it. So I used the chance to activate Black Whip and FA Gene. Izuku, luckily I've been storing kinetic energy for this. FA Gene, FO 100%. I combined one for all at 45%, Black Whip and FA Gene to move at speeds comparable to one for all 100%, while also holding my two knives ready to slash him in a X-like pattern. But unfortunately for me he dodges before the knives could slash him. I land on the ground cracking it and causing a small shockwave. Izuku, breathing, not even FO 100% can match his speed. I need more training. 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫 was now holding two ball on his tentacles and one balancing on his head. 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫, hup. Pa. 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫. 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫, hm. The ball falls from 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫 head as he looks at the direction of the voice. All of also stop and see Ms. Irina running down the stairs, waving her hand and going to 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫. Irina, oh 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫. She stops right in front of him and leans on his chest. Irina, Mr. Karasuma tells me you're oh so very fast. Is that true? 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫 drops ball and rubs a tentacle behind his neck. Well, not that fast Irina. Sparkling in beauty, could you do me a favor? I'd love to try some real Vietnamese coffee. Won't you bring me some while I'm teaching English? I could tell 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫 loved ogling at her melons, judging by how his face turned pink in an instant. 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫, why of course. I happen to know a great cafe in Vietnam. He then flew off into the air, leaving an air wave of dust on his way. Everyone, all of us braced for the shockwave of dust and shielded our eyes. As soon he was out of our sight and the dust was gone, right on time the school bell rang, meaning it was time for class. Isegai, Irina, class is starting. Shouldn't we go back in? Izuku thought, when the prey is away, here comes the attitude change. Irina, class. Places cigarette in her mouth though, right? Lights up the cigarette, just make it a study hall or something. Okanima, wide eyes as she removes the cigarette and lets out a wisp of smoke, then looks at us with cold eyes. Irina, and can you not call me by my first name? Most of us were taken aback by her change in behavior. But I knew this was coming the moment she acted around 𝐀𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐫. Irina, I won't be playing teacher unless that octopus is around, so you are to call me Ms. 𝐬𝐿𝐴𝐫. All of us were silent for a short moment until Karma broke it. Karma, so what are you going to do, Ms. Beach? Irina points angrily at Karma. No nicknames. Now I'm really lucky Aries at the staff room watching on my phone with headphones on. Because I do not want her to hear any of that. Karma, you're an assassin, right? Raises an eyebrow. The entire class working together can't kill this monster, and you're going to kill him all by yourself. Brat. Grown-ups have their own grown-up ways of doing things. Looks at Nagisa. You must be Nagisa Shioda. All of a sudden, without getting a response from him, she walks over to him and kissed him. Class 3, Izuku, Yami. Mani feels sorry for him. Izuku, tell me about it's being smothered with kisses by someone older than him. Yami, she's practically molesting him. And he's still a kid. And here I thought flirting with an octopus is worse. Izuku, to be honest, that's better than Midnight's 18+ education shivers. Yami, you have a point. She stops kissing him and looks down on his shocked face that was laying against her cleavage. Irina, come to the staff room later. I'd like to see what you have on him. Izuku, now I feel lucky that was not me. Yami, what do you mean? Had a lot of girlfriends in the past and not even a single kiss on the lips. Izuku, did you forget the fact that a woman older than me just kissed someone as innocent and young as Nagisa? Just for info. Yami, alright. Irina, drops 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵 and turns to the rest of us. The same goes for anyone else with 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I'll give you something good in return. Smirks and looks at the girls. I can even swap in a man for you girls. Then 3 men in stealth gear walked over to her carrying guns in their bags. I'm guessing it's some of her men. Irina, it's a pro's job to have both technique and connections. You brats go watch from the outfield. One of the men passes her a small gun. Oh, one more thing. Looks more colder, interferes slightly in my assassination, places barrel of her gun on her lips, and I'll kill you. Izuku thought she's an expert in kisses that make males go swoon. Along with a body perfect for seducing men. She's definitely a real deal, a professional at what she does. And a professional killer using the art of seduction and infiltration. Along with her companions just increases how great of threat she might be. But her ego is high and her pride for her own abilities as a professional might cause her own downfall. And judging by the looks of some of the class, they hate her already. All of us look at her as she was discussing her own plans with her men. I could sense a strand of hatred coming from each and every one of the class for her. It's like Kakin during the sports festival again. Time skip. We were all in class at English PRD. The board had the words study hall written on it. We were all reading our books while Ms. Irina was busy sitting like a model on the desk, reviewing her plans. Some were actually staring at her. She then smirks and winked at me and 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵. I see 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵 flinch while I just sigh. I guess it's because of what happened earlier. Flashback. I decided to go check on Eri after that little event outside with Ms. Irina. I wanted to check on her if she's fine before going back to class. Izuku, I hope Eri's doing fine. When I open the door, I see 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵 in a very uncomfortable position. As he was pinned to the wall by Ms. Irina while holding his notebook. I see sleeping, hiding under on the couch. She must have been tired playing games on my phone. I could see both of them look at me when I opened the door. Izuku, did I come in at a wrong time? Irina, actually, and I was going to call you anyway. Looks at me. You're Izuku Midoriya, right? The one they told me who came from another world. Izuku, yes, I am. And you're Ms. Irina 𝐻𝐿𝐵, a professional assassin and hitwoman famous for infiltration. And judging by your last name, you're Serbian. Irina, so you are smart as they say you are. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵 here told me you have information about the octopus as well. Care to share the information? Izuku, sighs. I guess. I was the one to first hurt him, but I had my powers. If the first one was karma without powers. But even if you graze or cut off a tentacle doesn't make him flinch. My theory is that maybe you have blast or get every single tentacle all at once. But it'll be hard to do that because of how fast he is. He can avoid attacks before anyone could even graze him. Irina, sighs. Do you have any more information? 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐵 practically told me most of what you said. Izuku, you should be careful of his senses and reflexes. They are above any level I've seen before. Insane regeneration that could match some powers back at my world. I also suggest you shouldn't go with just basic or common sense assassination plans. I suggest to think outside the box with them. Irina, listen kid. I know you've dealt with him a lot of times before, but you're all amateurs in this. Leave this business to the professionals. And besides, you have powers to write. How come you haven't killed him yet? Izuku, don't underestimate me, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 or the class, sensei. She looks at me wide-eyed. Sure, we may be amateurs at this, but that doesn't give you the right to underestimate us. And just because I have powers doesn't mean I can kill him already with a snap of my fingers. Sighs and walks over to Eri. At least she's all right. Irina, who's that? Izuku, she's my daughter, Eri Midoriya. Irina, daughter. At such a young age. Izuku, adoptive daughter. And can you be quiet, sensei? She's sleeping. Sighs. I should get back to class. Walks to the door. Oh, and by the way. Looks back at her. Pride always comes before the fall. It will cost you with everything but leave you with nothing. I went outside, leaving Ms. Irina a bit stunned. Flashback, and I just hope she lets her pride down a bit. It reminds me of a certain someone back in my world. But I think I should have told her that only specific bullets or knives can damage 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐵. But I guess she knows it already, right? I could see her smile and relax. My guess is that she's getting a bit too overconfident. While the class just looks at her, it was all silent until Maha. Come on, Ms. Beach, teach us already. She was so offended that she was so close to getting knocked off her chair, gritting her teeth. Rio, yeah, Ms. Beach. Great, now she's shaking in rage. Now I'm really lucky Eri isn't here. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴, I mean you are a teacher here, right Ms. Beach? Irina, quit your beach. She stands backs up with rage in her eyes. She then goes to the board and begins writing. Irina, for one thing, they're pronounced differently. You Japanese can't differentiate between B and V. Yami, Izuku, Irina, I'll teach you the right way to say V. First lightly bite your bottom lip. Go on. I just sigh and quietly did it with the class. They reluctantly pronounced V along with me. Irina, yes, right. Now stay like that for an hour and give me some peace and quiet. Class 3, what kind of lesson is this? Izuku, Yami, she's really pushing their buttons, isn't she? She's literally making them hate her more. Izuku, it's just like Kaken back at the sports festival all over again. Yami, he's lucky he apologized to you. He was one of my top prioritized targets on my vengeance list. Izuku, this is basically a combination of Aizawa-sensei's teaching style sometimes, along with Kaken's overconfidence. Yami, heh, no wonder they call her Beach Sensei. The name actually fits her personality. Izuku, sighs, I just hope she doesn't make the class even more mad than they are now. Time skip, it was PE time with Karasuma-sensei, but this time instead of knife work it was target practice this time. Luckily I repaired my Air Force gloves and was practicing on a different set of targets. I was practicing using Delaware's Smash Air Force, Destructive Death, Air type and using guns to increase my ability on long-ranged attacks. Eri was also outside watching us train. We stopped when we suddenly heard Mimura. Mimura, hey, now kidding me. We looked at the direction he was looking at and see 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 following Ms. Irina to the sheds. Mimura, they're going into that shed together. 𝐬𝐮𝐴, kind of a letdown, watching 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 fall for such an obvious ploy. Karaoke, Karasuma-sensei. Karasuma, Karaoke, I don't think we'll ever warm up to her. Karasuma, apologies. She's a pro here on government orders. Still completing all her preparations in a single day proves she's an assassin of the highest caliber. Izuku, sighs still. Karasuma-sensei looks at me, she's overestimating her abilities as a pro assassin too much. It might cost her chance to kill him. And besides the one falling into a trap. Karasuma, what do you mean? Izuku, 𝐀𝐮𝐴𝐫 is not that dumb to be fooled simply by her actions. By now, or maybe earlier, he's already caught up into what was happening and is just playing it off to see what happens. But still you guys will get used to her eventually. Kenzaki, how come you aren't offended on what she's been doing? Izuku, let's just say she wasn't the first or the last person I met with an ego greater than someone's height. But all I know is that a wise man once said, pride is the mask of one's own faults. Sooner or later, once she gets a bit more comfier, that mask will fall off. Okajima, by the way, what does gloves you have? And why do you have a bunch of rows of targets? Izuku, I'm just training to master my super strength and powers but in range. Class 3. Izuku, I'll show you one for all full cowling 25%. I charge up OFA and ready my one arm to activate the Air Force gloves. I aimed at the 4 targets in front of me. Izuku, Delaware Smash Air Force. I fired 4 compressed shots of air that hit directly at the center of the first row of 4 targets, destroying them. I then jumped high, then did a backflip. Izuku, Destructive Death, Air type. I punched the empty air in front of me 4 times, that sent 4 aerial shockwaves towards the second row of 4 targets, destroying them. I landed back down and see some of them have shocked and amazed faces. Nagisa, wow Izuku, these may be ineffective in killing 𝐀𝐮𝐴𝐫, but they can stun him or maybe damage other opponents. But even with my powers I still need to practice using guns. Because with or without my powers I want to learn how to use weapons like guns or knives. Isn't that right, Eri? I look at Eri, who was practicing shooting using a toy gun at a toy target. She drops the guns, looks at me, gives me a peace sign and smiles. Eri, of course Papa. Girls, AWWWWW. Yami, I swear this kid might give me diabetes or a heart attack. Izuku, you'll get used to the feeling. All of a sudden we all heard loud gunfire coming from the shed and covered our ears because of the loud sound. After nearly 30 seconds the shooting stops and we uncover our ears. Karaoke, that must be her assassination attempt. Yada, do you think she did it? Izuku, highly unlikely. Mahara, how can you say that? Didn't you hear how many bullets were fired? Izuku, I know that. But if I was overconfident in my assassination abilities as her, I would use the strongest bullets effective against anyone. Which means she may have just used guns with the highest fire rate along with normal bullets, which aren't effective against 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. And besides, even if we tell her that only pellets damage 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, would she even believe it or take us seriously? The others nod, knowing on how Ms. Irina would react if we told her pellets would do damage instead of live bullets. Then we heard a bunch of slithering sounds from the inside of the shed. Izuku, yup, she biffed it. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫's still alive judging by those sounds. Irina, no. We then suddenly hear her scream from the shed. It was loud enough for all of us outside to hear. Okeno, what was that? Okajima, gunshots, a scream and now a slithery sound. Eri, Papa, what was that? Is it a monster? Izuku, picks her up. No, it wasn't Snowball. It's okay, you're safe. Irina, yo. Slithering noises intensifies. Class 3, sweat drops. Eri, Papa, what are those sounds? Izuku, sweating. You'll tell you when you're older, sweetie. The sound she was making grew even more skittish, as the slithering sound can still be heard. Class 3 grew more anxious. Yami, what in the world is going on? Izuku, I don't know or even want to know. Yami, it's like the sounds I hear when we pass round Face and Sonic Ripoff's room. They really were cheating behind your back. Izuku, don't remind me. Like him, she's not important to me anymore. All I know is that my innocent mind is getting tortured right now. Yami, you and me both. Okajima, blushing. She's getting slithered but good. Mahara, let's go. Izuku, Eri puts her down. Stay here, okay? Papa will check what's going on. Eri, okay Papa. I follow the others to the shed to see what was going on. The door opens and the first to emerge was 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, who had a pink face and a smile. Nagisa, 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Okajima, how are those, bub? Yami, what in the world type of question is that? Izuku, I don't know anymore. 𝐀𝐻𝐿. I wish I could have enjoyed myself a little longer. Face changes back to normal, but I'm really looking forward to our classes together. Nagisa, what happened in there? We then see Ms. Irina walking out with wobbly legs wearing a retro PE uniform. Nagisa, Ms. Beach is wearing a wholesome, retro gym outfit. Izuku, but why are her legs wobbly? Irina, blushing and drooling while in a daze to think he did all that to me in only 1 minute. He loosened my stiff shoulders and back, gave me a lymphatic oil massage, got me changed top at top speed. Okay, all of us are getting more disturbed on what happened in there. Irina, and then to do that slithery thing with his tentacles. Collapses to the ground. Class 3E, what thing? Izuku, size, what did you do? 𝐀𝐻𝐿. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, face became blank white and looks away. Oh, you know, grown-ups need grown-up care. Yada, that's the face of a guilty grown-up. Yami, Izuku, Yami, I don't even want to know where he stuck his tentacles at. Izuku, sighs and holds his head. Even I don't want to know or find out. This is too much for my mind. 𝐀𝐻𝐿, back to the classroom now. Class 3, yes sir. I decided to go pick up Eri first before going back, but when I turned around, I saw an enraged Ms. Irina struggling to stand up with a vengeful look in her eyes. Irina, this is unforgivable. Removes red ribbon on her head. I've never suffered such an unsightly failure. I am a pro, and I shall repay him for this disgrace. Izuku narrows eyes, that look of damaged pride, remembers Izuku, walks away to find Eri. I have to fix it somehow. Time skip. We were back at the classroom while Eri was back at the staff room sleeping. The PRD was meant to be study hall. Most of us were uneasily quiet while Ms. Irina just kept tapping on her phone with a dark look. My guess is that her damaged pride is getting the best of her. Irina slams fist on the table. Damn it. Why doesn't this backwoods school have Wi-Fi? I then look at Karma, who was smirking and leant back. Izuku thought, oh no Karma, no, don't add more fuel to her fire. Karma, you're trying awful hard, Ms. Beach. Your pride must be in tatters after that. She just glares at him and grits her teeth while I just sigh knowing this won't end well. 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Irina, what? 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, if you won't teach us anything, could you swap with 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫? We've got entrance exams this year. Izuku sighs, and here it comes, the bomb has been planted in both her and the class. Irina, you want that vicious creature to teach you. You think your exams compare at all to a planetary crisis. Stands up and smirks coldly, must be nice being a clueless kid. Besides, I understand you E-class students are the school's loser misfits. I felt the room darkened as the others all tensed at her words with shadows covering their eyes. I just narrow my eyes, then sigh and just lowered my head and covered myself with my arms knowing on what will happen next. Irina, there can't be any point to studying now. I know how about this. If my attempt succeeds, I'll give you 5 million yen to share. That's far more than you'd gain from any pointless schoolwork. So shut up and do as I. She was cut off all of a sudden, as Mahara throws a RBB eraser just inches from her head. Stops talking and widened her eyes. Izuku sighs, and the fuse is broken. Yami, I brought some popcorn. Izuku, shut up will you? Yami, what? It's been a while since I've watched drama like this up close. Mahara, coldly get out Irina, alarmed huh. The class looks at her with cold eyes looking ready to kill her any second. She's lucky none of them have real weapons. Class 3, get out you Diamond Beach. / bring in 𝐀𝐮𝐴. They started throwing papers, their stationery sets, books and more at her while shouting. Nagisa just had his head lowered and covered his ears like me. Yami, ha ha ha. This is the best drama I've seen in a while. Eats popcorn. Izuku sighs, and here I thought you and I are getting better. Yami, hey. I thought you liked my company. Izuku, I liked it when you're not enjoying mayhem like this. Yami, sigh, you're no fun. Irina shields herself with her arms. Where'd all this come from? I'll kill you all. Sugaya, I'd like to see you try. Keano, holding a sign saying, no big bub, yeah, that's right. Down with big bub. Nagisa and Izuku, that's your complaint. Yami, boo-ha. I'm loving this so much. Izuku sighs, I really need to talk to her after this. After a few minutes of them throwing objects at her, she ran outside, shielding herself as the class continues to shout at her and throw objects. I decided enough is enough and stood up. Izuku, black whip. I formed my hands into an X as 10 tendrils come out of my fingers. Each tendril grabs the thrown objects and gives them back to their rightful owner. I also used it to place them back to the seats as they look at me and see the shadow I had in my eyes. Nagisa, Izuku. I just walked silently as they kept looking at me with curious looks. I walked to the door, opened it. 𝐻𝐮𝐴. Izuku, what are you doing? Izuku, going to do what I do best. Help her before she goes down the wrong path. Mahara, but why would you help her after all she said to us? Keano, yeah, he's right. She was pretty mean to us. Yada, why would you go through all this trouble just to save someone like her? Aren't you hurt on what she's done and said to us? Izuku, Ami didn't like what she said to you guys. I know most people won't help someone like her, especially after what she's done, but I sigh and look back at them and gave them a warm-hearted smile. Izuku, sticking your nose into other people's business and giving help that's not asked for is what makes someone a true hero. I know it may not be my business to help her, but I want to help her see this class in a different way than what she thought. She's someone lost in the darkness of her own pride, and I want to help her see the light. I walked outside and closed the door behind me and walked on the way to the staff room. Yami, well, here comes Mr. Hero saving the day again. Izuku, shut up, you're just mad that I ruined your show. Yami, why do you even want to help her? She's been nothing but a beach. Izuku, I know that, but she reminds me a lot of Yami, sighs the angry Pomeranian. I knew that I've seen that huge amount of pride before. Izuku, I know, I just don't want her to walk down the wrong path that Kaken nearly or was walking down before. Yami, and a way for you to calm your flare a bit. I sensed that your flare slightly grew after that. Izuku, I felt it too. I want her to apologize to the rest of us so my flair will weaken a bit. Just like how it almost came back when 𝐻𝐿 was bullying me. When he apologized to me, the embers of that flair disappeared or weakened. Yami, I guess you have a point. At least she wasn't as bitchy as those back in the day. Because if she was, I would rather kill her than help her. Izuku, me too, but at least she hasn't gone far to the point like them. She nearly reminds me of them. Breathes heavily. Yami, dude. Control yourself. Your flair is getting stronger again. Izuku, calms down. Thanks Yami. There we go, the flare is stable again. We have to be careful, we don't want you to burn something up again. Izuku, yeah, I hope the same thing doesn't happen again. Yami, 𝐬𝐻𝐴, let's just help this beach and get over with it. As I get closer to the staff room, I could see the sign saying, staff room, fall off. And I could also hear her screaming. Luckily I put ear muffs on Eri's ears. I was at the door and luckily they didn't notice me or my presence when I entered. Irina, they're sharing space with a fine woman like me. Slams hands on table multiple times and they're not grateful. Yami, I wonder why though. Izuku, I have to admit she could have been a bit more nicer. 𝐻𝐿 types on his laptop. They're not, hence the classroom chaos. Go apologize to 𝐒𝐮𝐵 if you want to stick around for another attempt, that is. Irina, why should I? I have no teaching experience. Slams her hands on the table. Let me focus on assassination. Izuku, sighs, I guess it's my go. How about you come with us then, sensei? I see them look at me shocked and surprised to see me here without any of them noticing. I was leaning against the door with my arms crossed. 𝐻𝐿, Izuku-kun. How long were you standing there? Izuku, long enough, 𝐻𝐿-sensei. How about we go ahead and give her a talk? Maybe with that she'll have a reason to apologize. 𝐻𝐿, I guess stands up. Alright then, follow both of us. Irina stands up and follows. Time skip. After walking for a few minutes we arrived at our first location. I only knew 𝐻𝐿-sensei does this when I was trying to find a training spot one time and saw him. The three of us hid behind a tree trying not to get noticed. 𝐻𝐿-sensei, Eramango, one of the islands of Vanuatu, or the New Hebrides. 𝐻𝐿-sensei was sitting under a tree on a recliner. He was writing on his clipboard at max speed, holding ruler and drinking grape juice at the same time. He also had a stack of books and paper on the table beside him. Irina, what's he doing? 𝐻𝐿, writing test questions. It's what he does every Wednesday during 6th period. Izuku, I saw 𝐻𝐿-sensei here one time when I was finding a training spot here. Irina, it sure seems to be taking a long time. At Mach 20, shouldn't those tests be written already? Izuku, that's the thing, sensei. Look closer. 𝐻𝐿, he's right. They're different for each student. Irina, surprised what? Izuku, based on what I saw one time, 𝐻𝐿-sensei writes individualized questions, taking into account our best and worst subjects. We look back at him as he continues to write more questions. 𝐻𝐿-sensei, twirling the pen. Chiba has spatial figures down pat. Grins. Why don't I give him a slightly tougher trick question? Irina, shocked. 𝐻𝐿, he has advanced intelligence and speed, this dangerous creature who'll destroy the earth. And his teaching work is close to perfect. Izuku, it's unlike any teaching back in my world. Sometimes other teachers wouldn't take the risk to do what he does for us. But he even went to New York just to help Sugino's pitching. He's definitely a one-of-a-kind teacher. Time skip. This time we went back to the outside classroom at the field. We could see some of the others playing the special tennis game made by 𝐻𝐿-sensei. Yada, take that. Yada strikes the ball back to the others using a wooden curved knife. But it was hit back by Chiba. As the game continues, 𝐻𝐿 points to the others. Now look at the students. Irina, they're just fooling around. Izuku, maybe to the untrained eye, sensei. But in reality, it's training, combining tennis and assassination at the same time. They're getting trained on how to accurately strike moving targets with a knife while also having fun. It's a game made by 𝐻𝐿-sensei, perfect for assassins in training and students. Back to the others. Kimura slashed the ball upwards, but Sugino, heck. Sugino yelled and jumped and moved the ball to the opponent's side before Chiba even reacted. It resulted in his team getting the points. Sugino and Yada high-fives each other. Yay. Kimura, that's a move, 3 points. Irina, what? Karasuma, target and teacher, assassins and students. Here in this bizarre classroom that creatures made for us, everyone has 2 roles to play. You make a big deal out of being a pro starts to walk away, but if you can't be both an assassin and a teacher, stops walking, then this is the worst place for a pro like you. Back to the others again. Chiba hits the ball too hard towards Yada. She flinches and blocks as the ball rolls towards the back. Maihara, you okay? Yada slumps in defeat. Sheesh. Izuku chuckles. I guess she needs more practice. Notices Ms. Irina's look. If you want to stay here, sensei, and have more chances on assassinating 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, don't look down on all of us. Maybe instead you can become our teacher like you were supposed to. Irina, but what could I teach kids like you? I don't have that much teaching experience. Izuku, a wise man, once said, a teacher's job is not to prepare students for something. Their job is to help students prepare themselves for anything. We lack the linguistic and infiltration skill you apparently have, sensei. A teacher can teach their own experiences and knowledge to those younger to them. Maybe your teaching can help us in the assassination or help in talking to foreigners. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 teaches for the exams. Karasuma-sensei can teach us combat and PE, while you can teach practical conversation skills and the ability to sweet-talk others. Karasuma, he's right, it's your decision to stay here and become a part of this assassination as a teacher. I have to go, I need to do some stuff. Walks away. As Karasuma-sensei walks away, I look back at Ms. Irina and see her looking down with irritation. Izuku, I know it's hard, sensei. Your pride as a professional was damaged. But it'll be your choice to either open up and say sorry to the others or remain cold towards them. Before I walk back in, she called me. Irina, wait, how come you aren't mad at me like them? And why do you want to help me despite everything I've said? And why don't you call me names like they did? Izuku, I was mad, sensei. You completely overestimated your own abilities while underestimated ours. But even still, you reminded me of someone back in my world. He was the incarnation of victory. Has an ego that reminded me of you. Katsuki, don't lump us all in the same group. I'm not gonna be stuck at the bottom with the rest of these rejects. Katsuki, I aced the mock test. I'm the only one at this school who could possibly get into you. I'll definitely surpass All Might and become the top hero. My name will be inscribed in the list of top earners. Izuku, like you, sensei, he was too proud of his own abilities, too proud of winning over and over. Because of that, he made a lot of enemies. And made a lot of people hate his ego. But he always wanted to show me that he was more superior than me. Katsuki, you're kidding me, right? Your old school put a stick up your butt? Or were you born with it? Katsuki, samaiha. So you must think you're better than me. I'm gonna have fun tearing you a new one. Katsuki, at least now you know what a future pro looks like. Now move it, extras. Katsuki, these people don't matter. The only thing that's important is if I beat them. Katsuki, I pledge that I'll be number 1. At least become a nice bouncy step for me to jump off of. Katsuki, you'll regret making a fool of me. I'll freaking kill you. I'm taking the first to end all firsts. There's no point in winning against some half-butted punk. No point if I can't do better than Deku. So if you're not trying to win, get the hell out of my face. Why are you even here, you bastard? Izuku, but just like you, he had his pride broken down. I still remember the very first one. Katsuki, from here on you're me. I'm gonna beat you all. Enjoy your win. It'll never happen again. Damn it. Izuku, the face you had after your failed assassination attempt reminded me of his wounded pride. We both used to be frenemies, but after a certain event, Katsuki, I always looked down on you. Just because you were quirkless. You were always far behind me, yet I felt that you were somehow miles ahead of me. I hated that. I didn't want to feel like that. And I didn't want to recognize that. It's why I grew so distant from you and always tried to beat you down. I opposed you and tried to show my superiority over you. But I always lost. After entering you, absolutely nothing went as I thought it would. I spent all my days trying to figure out your strengths and weaknesses. It probably doesn't mean anything telling you all this, but that's what I really think. Izuku, I'm sorry for everything I've done up until now. If you ever encounter a road bump, you can always count on me for help. To surpass All Might, our ideal hero, we would have to be allies and friends. I know I've done so much CRP to you up until now and won't forgive me, but I don't want your forgiveness, I want to atone for my actions. Izuku, he became my friend and rival. He's changing and slowly atoning for all his sins in his own way. I want you to apologize to the others, because I don't want you walking down a path you'll soon regret. And another reason is because I have 3 roles in this classroom: student, assassin, and hero. I'll be willing to save anyone mentally or physically when the time comes. Have you heard on what happened when I arrived here, Sensei? Irina, the only thing I heard is that multiple powered beasts attacked this place. Izuku, those things would have killed everyone if I wasn't here. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 was not match for those things. Irina, really? Izuku, yeah, him or the entire military forces aren't strong enough to deal with those beasts. That gives me more reason to stay here. I know you're a nice person, but you need to at least show the others you're not what they say you are, and atone for what you said. And besides, I prefer calling you Ms. Irina or Irina-sensei. Starts to walk away. By the way, Ms. Irina, if you keep looking down on everyone, you're never gonna notice your own weaknesses. Maybe these words can help you. See you later at class, Ms. Irina. I look back at her and see her still deep in thought while walking back to class. Yami, claps, way to go with wordplay, bravo. Izuku, chuckles, thanks, I guess. Yami, but you forgot to tell her the final reason, huh? Izuku, no, I didn't want her to get more suspicious about my past like the others. Yami, what was your other reason? Izuku sadly smiles, to be a kind and great teacher, like Karasume-sensei and Koro-sensei. To be the teachers I never had when I needed them. To ignite the imagination and instill a love of learning in their minds. Because the influence of a good teacher can never be erased. Yami, just like a painful memory, you can cry 1,000 times, but it won't erase them. It is our most painful blessing. The result of those memories is me, Izuku, and our flair. I want the others to enjoy class more than I did, and learn more than what I could learn from myself. All those years I only learned things by myself with the help of my mom. Yami, let's just say they're very lucky indeed to have them as teachers. Izuku, yeah, they are. I'll just make the most of these moments and try enjoying it with them. I'll make sure they're safe and nothing happens to him. Yami, you really think of other before yourself, huh? Izuku chuckles, it's always been like that ever since. Yami, but you do know that it costs you to get hurt often. Izuku, I'm full of pain, but I wake up every morning and I'm smiling. Back then I just smiled to hide and stops my tears. They were a sign of weakness, others disliked weak. So I had to smile, hide the pain, and make sure to protect those who couldn't hide the pain. You know, from my counterpart, you're a bit more calmer than before. Yami, I'm not just made of your anger, but also your emotional pain. If you used to see me as the angry madman before, I'm now a combination of your rage and pain. But your pain exceeds your rage, so most of the time, I'm not a chaotic rage freak. Izuku, I guess that's fine. But now we need to control our flair again. Yami, yeah, even I don't want the same thing to happen. Izuku, but you were the one who did it. Yami, in your body. And besides, did I forgot to tell you that once you are overrun with negativity, I lose control and go berserk. And besides, I hate going berserk. Izuku, oh yeah, let's just hope those events don't happen again. I don't want to hurt the class or Eri or anyone. I want to hide the truth and I want to shelter the others from my own demons. Yami, maybe we could use that line for a song. It sounded pretty good. Izuku, I guess. I might already have an idea for a lyrics. Yami, nice. We could use it to vent out your flair by expressing your thoughts through lyrics. Izuku, at least it'll be better than beating people up. Time skip. It was a little while after I had my talk with Ms. Irina. She agreed to continue teaching us and apologized to the others. I told her to come with me back to the classroom so she could do so. When I arrived, I could see the others lounging around and talking with each other. When I entered the room, I could see everyone look at me. They were about to ask me some questions, but I just raised my hand as stop. I then look at 𝐒𝐮𝐿𝐵. Izuku, 𝐒𝐮𝐿𝐵, Can you please tell them to go back to their seats? 𝐻𝐮𝐦𝐬𝐵. Sure. 𝐻𝐮𝐽 does so and orders the class to sit back down properly on their own seats. I then signal Ms. Irina to come inside as I walk back to my seat. She walks to the board silently as the class just look at her in surprise. She hesitantly picks up the chalk, then looks at me. I guess she could see the looks they were giving her, especially Terasaka and his group. So I just gave her a simple nod of confirmation. She picks up the chalk and starts to write on board. Izuku thought, I just hope it goes well. She then stops writing and the words on the board read, You're incredible in bed. She then turns to us and started speaking in English. Irina, you're incredible in bed. Repeat. The class looks confused at first, so she orders them. Irina, come on. Class 3, mixed English. You're incredible in bed. Irina, when I assassinated a certain VIP in America, I first turned on the charm to get close to his bodyguard. Those are the words he said to me. They mean, you're great in the sack. Nagisa, blushing and whispers, just what are you making us junior high kids say? Izuku thought, so far so good. Just don't screw this up. Irina, it's often said that the fastest way to learn another language is to get yourself a lover who speaks it. You want to know what they're feeling, so you try your hardest to understand what they say. Izuku, and I had to read an entire English book just for the one who I thought was my girlfriend. Yamit, dude, flare, remember? It's just a random flashback that'll just break your heart. Izuku, sighs, thanks, I guess you really don't want to go berserk again, huh? Yami, it really hurts when that happens. I act like a freaking wild animal. But when the moment counts, I'll have no choice but to use it. Izuku, let's just hope it never happens. I don't want to be responsible for when that happens. Irina, when necessary in the course of my work I have used that method to learn more than a few new languages. Therefore, my lessons will teach you how to sweet-talk foreigners. The basics of chummy chats, straight from a pro assassin. And they'll come in handy with a real-life foreigner. Ryo and Okajima, blushing a foreigner. Izuku, okay, I don't want to even know what are they thinking. Yami, I can live without knowing. Izuku, but at least this lesson will be better than present mix. I almost went deaf one time. Yami, I could hear his screams loud and clear from the back of your head. Irina, let that octopus teach you what you need for your exams. The only thing I could teach you practical conversation skills. And if you still don't think of me as a teacher, I'll give up on my assassination and leave. That ought to fly with you all. And blushing, I'm sorry about all that stuff. I could see the others looking at her in disbelief. I could only silently chuckle at their reaction at her sudden 180 personality change. But then suddenly they all burst out with laughter, making her jump and look nervous. Karma, why so nervous? You were just threatening to kill us. Irina, Mahara, she's totally a teacher now. Okano, we can't call you Ms. Beach anymore. Irina, tears in her eyes. You understand. Covers her mouth. Ryo, it was pretty rude thing to call a teacher. She just blushed and almost looked like tears of joy coming out of her eyes. Izuku smiles. I knew that her pride was just a mask to her. But why do I feel a sudden 180 coming soon? Karaoke, yeah, we need something else. Mahara, how about Beach Sensei? And there was that 180 I sensed. I look at Ms. Irina and she looks like someone who just suddenly lost all hope. Irina smiles weakly. How about we move away from the whole beach thing? Just call me by my first name. I don't mean Mahara, but that beach thing really isn't going away. Irina stiffens. Ugh. Beach Sensei fits her way better than Irina Sensei. Kurahashi, well, there you have it. Welcome, Beach Sensei. 𝐻𝐮𝐽𝐬𝐵, let's get started, Beach Sensei. The more she heard them say Beach Sensei, the more she gets angrier. When 𝐻𝐮𝐽𝐬𝐵 finished talking, she finally lost her temper. Irina, I hate you all so much. No one's POV unknown to the others. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 and Karasuma were watching from the window without the others knowing. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, she's fitting right in. Karasuma, more or less. It was thanks to Izuku-kun's talking with my help that made her change her decision. Back inside the classroom, the others still tried to insult her while Izuku just looked at her with a smile. Irina, don't screw with me. Bunch of rotten brats. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 narrowed his eyes and reached into his blazer to pull out a gun, but 𝐻𝐻, thank you, 𝐀𝐻𝐿-sensei. I want my students to be able to converse with an actual foreigner. Looks at 𝐻𝐻 over his shoulder and really, who better than globetrotting assassin? 𝐻𝐻, eyes darken. You mean he saw all this coming? 𝐻𝐻 walks away waving his tentacles. Time to top off my sugar reserves after all that hard mental work. Back to Izuku's POV. Well, I did expect this to happen. Nobody changes easily overnight. But this is a start for her, I guess, just like 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 start. It may take a while, but I know she'll fit in well with this class and grow to teach them. This class surely is lucky to have great teachers that I could never have back in my old days. Irina, I'll give you Ms. Beach. Do it right. Kurohashi, aren't you cute? Irina, I am not. Izuku stands up. But all things considered, everyone looks at me. I'll be looking forward to learning with you. Smiles. I could see most of the girl students blushing for unknown reasons apparently. But I'll just ask them about it later. I look at Irina-sensei and then bow. Izuku, I formally welcome you as our teacher to the Assassination Classroom, Irina-sensei.